Ladies and gentlemen, it's ESA Cup time. I'm your caster Velocity. Joining me is Pooble. Pooble, how are we doing tonight?
Hello. I'm doing good. Yeah. Important matchups today. A little bit of
Yeah.
spoilers. These are potentially the sort of not the tensest, but still these are matches where you will either go up to the finals if you win, or you'll go down to those elimination spots if you lose. So these are very important matches. There's no kind of messing around here. You're going to expect to see teams on their A game to try and get to that prize at the very end of the tournament.
Yeah, exactly. And as you said, this decides who goes on to the finals, and then who drops down to obviously the elimination bracket. Who will then decide who will go home and who will go out. Well, although Pooble, we do have some big teams tonight. We are seeing teams such as Project 100 and Minions play. Minions being the previous season winners. Project 100 obviously quite a very big team. We've seen a lot of them this season. Moving on is Misclick as well. I've seen I have to say a reasonable amount, and obviously E-Wade as well.
Yeah, well, I think Project 100 especially were making waves in that group stage, really. So
Exactly.
it's really going to be a case of seeing will they continue to sort of soar on ahead of the competition, or will they maybe sort of get their wings clipped, be brought back to size? But either way, we're still going to have a map to play on, right? So I
Exactly.
guess we should just head over to the map ban phase this first matchup, see where we are, because I can assure you it's a little bit special. It's something we've only seen
We
once
don't see
before this
much.
season, I think.
Yeah, only once in
Sky.
this stage, Pooble, and it is Skyscraper, which I mean I'm excited. I do like myself about Skyscraper.
Yeah, and a little bit about the teams. It's expected that they haven't played this that much, although on the side of P100, they're 1-2 on it. Cook, a little bit better, 1-0, but still, it's such a small sample size. I don't think we can really sort of extrapolate too much out of that.
Yeah,
But again, you would maybe kind of favor Project 100 just going into this, not only because of having a bit more success on sort of throughout the stage. Also, they've got more of those sort of storied players. I'd imagine that they're coming
yeah,
off a sort of real high spot. They did
yeah.
take that early loss in the Swiss stage, but since then they've been winning. So I think Project 100 should be favored here.
Oh, I think Product 100 should definitely be favoured here. If we take a look at the community vote, though, Pooble, as we're seeking out who's to be favoured, and the favoured side is, in fact, Project 100, Pooble. Personally, I'm going to have to favour them, but I do like myself an underdog story.
Yeah, when you go 5-0 in those groups with not even an overtime map being sort of sent the way of the enemy team, you expect to be favoured here. And obviously, they did have that quite shocking defeat early on in the Swiss stage, but since then, they've been back on that form. So, really,
Yeah.
it should favour the side of Project 100 here. I think the community are very right in that vote. But then again, almost 81%, maybe a little bit one sided. Cook have shown that they're a strong team. They've made it to potentially going to the finals here. They made these high seeds in the playoffs. So uh, maybe they stand a chance, but I don't know.
Yes, we're not sure.
I still think it's going to be quite a Herculean effort for them.
Exactly. We've got to remember neither of these teams have played Skyscraper in this stage of the ESA Cup. This is the first time we're seeing it in this stage. So, things can get really interesting here. We've seen neither team player, so we don't know what strats they have in pocket. We don't know what their abilities are on this map, on a map such as, such as Skyscraper, because it has to be played in such a particular way.
Yeah, it's an odd map, and that is reflected in the sort of the low times it's played. Teams just don't feel as comfortable on it. It's not like Oregon, like Clubhouse, where you can sort of employ very sort of generic strategies that are almost sort of go hand in hand with Siege as a whole. It is a different map. It needs to be treated as such. So we could have a very different matchup here, and that could be reflected in the result if it sort of goes away with the trend of Project 100 winning anything.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm excited for this match personally. I think we all should be excited as well. This is again, we're going to be seeing teams on their absolute A game. We're going to be seeing these players putting their all into this, despite any losses in the past, anything remotely hindering them. They are going to be putting everything into this game because, as we said previously, the stakes are high. This match decides who continues to the finals and who drops to the elimination bracket.
Yeah, it is. As we're saying, it's important. It's not maybe as tense as those final mid-round matchups where these teams are on the border of going home. They still have that safety net. but you just want to get in the finals as easy as possible. You want to get in
Exactly.
because you'll have a better seed. Seeding can really help. It can get you, in some cases, almost like a free win towards that semi-finals if you get put against a particularly weak opponent. So you want to still get in with that high seed. But it is, again, sort of important to remember, it's not the end of the road for these teams. If
Exactly.
something horrible happens and they end up losing quite badly, they still have that final safety net of that final round of matches here.
Yeah, well, it is also worth a mention, people. This is a best of one, so it is one map. What could be, we could see 7-0, we could see 7-3, we could see, however many rounds. We could go the full 15, the full 9 yards. We could see the full 15 rounds, and it's only 15 rounds for these teams.
Yeah, lack of best of three. It means we could, if they want to be really risky, even if a team, say, writes off this as a loss based on their opponents, they could potentially just go for a map they don't want to show in best of threes to say, like maybe even Sky here, one of these teams is going to have to lose this matchup. They're not going to want to show strats on something else. They just go for a wild pick like Skyscraper. It could still sort of factor into that, really, because best of ones, you can't really get a full sort of, a lot of strategies out there. It's a very almost momentum based best of one. There's no chance to really clutch up unless you're really on form after a certain point. So
Exactly.
again, it is all about those best of threes in that elimination spot. They can still rescue themselves if they lose this matchup here, but we'll just have to wait and see, really.
And it is that safety net we were talking about previously. Yes, okay, if they lose this match, it's not the end of the world. They drop the elimination bracket, and all they have to do is win a couple games down there, and they get themselves back up into the finals. But they want just a clear and easy run into the playoffs as physically possible. But dropping into that elimination bracket is going to make one of these teams' lives even harder.
Yeah, we're going to be getting this match in just a second, but still, I think we could just get a graphic of this whole Swiss stage up just to see the remaining matches here. Obviously, this will be the end of it for three of these teams. They will head up to those finals that will begin in, I believe, a week or so,
Yeah,
a couple
next
of
week I
weeks from
think it
now.
is.
So there's still sort of a lot of other teams in play here. There's still other things. Unfortunately, there's teams in those lower seeds that are going to be facing elimination, I believe, later this week because we will
Yeah.
start to have those best of threes coming in. But I think it was well wait, potentially get a bit of a graphic up just to show the grand scheme of this stage. This is a new thing for ESA. We previously just had a sort of groups straight to a big double elim playoffs. Now we are sort of conforming with the overall blast system of having groups and then
Yeah.
Swiss and then into just a single elim finals. But just changes. We'll see how it really rocks out here. I think a lot of teams are certainly preferring this because it favors you if you're good. You have to play less of those matches in that Swiss stage.
Yeah.
And you also just get more sort of tense matches in the finals, I'd say, although we haven't seen a finals match yet. We're not up there yet. But I think single elim finals are definitely a lot more tense than those sort of double elim things with that, again, that additional safety net.
Yeah, exactly. There, with, as you said, the safety net in a single elimination finals, there is nothing. You lose, you go home. There's nothing, there's nothing you can do about it in any way, shape, or form. So having that single elimination final just makes everything that little bit more tense, as you said, people, that little bit more competitive, and it really puts us, especially as casters, in the hot seats because, and the players as well, because they just have to be on their A game.
Yep, absolutely. They just need they really it shows who is that stronger team when you're in that high pressure situation. And pressure makes diamonds, as they say. So it should be a definitely really exciting finals bracket there. But we're not there yet. We're still down the Swiss stage. We're still, I think, just past the middle of the way through the season. Obviously, groups tends to last a lot longer just with the amount of teams we have. But I'd say we're roughly about that halfway point where we're starting to see teams both fall into those lower bracket seeds in the playoffs and as well get into that qualification spot to the finals.
I have just had confirmation, though, Pooble, that our Swiss bracket finally can be showed on screen. We're having some issues with it. But if you take a look now, we can see it on our screens, Pooble. We get to have a little look at our Swiss system, our Swiss bracket, moving into phase 2 of ESA, or moving out of phase 2 of ESA, rather.
Yep, Penta and MDF getting through. I'm certainly not really surprised rather than Penta only dropping that one map to a forfeit because they were in a finals of another tournament. They've definitely shown that they're in very strong form throughout this entire tournament. LFO and Eagle Empire Esports, unfortunately, are out. I didn't realize we already had two teams to say goodbye to, so commiserations to them. But yeah, that's about it. I think we are finally
ready
into this matchup.
We're ready, and we're a little bit behind though, Pooble, as we've already seen the first ban, which is the knock off the board, which is understandable, completely understandable on the skyscraper.
Yep, I think that is perhaps a little bit more bizarre. I wouldn't say bizarre. Flores, you'd maybe raise an eyebrow at that, but just the way that skyscraper tends to work out, there's a lot of extended holds there, and Flores excels at that. You can just deal with shields without having to mess with ADSs or one-man magnets. You just drive that little drone on, beep, beep, boom, shield's gone. Fenrir getting banned as well. New operator, I'm sure Ubisoft absolutely molding the fact that we can't see this new operator being played, but it's for good reason. Fenrir, very, very powerful operator with the right sort of setups, just the ability to limit that attacker vision with those gas clouds. It can be crucial because it is essentially a free gunfight for the defense if they are keen and they take that opportunity. And Azami, a real just common face for the ban board here. Always seems to be taken out of play at least once a day. Incredibly strong gadget with his keeper barriers. Just being able to block off lines of sight, make new angles to peek from. Very strong, and for that reason, banned a lot. But we're going to be heading off to Karaoke Tea Room first. Project 100 going with what looks to be a fairly standard setup. Thorn, interestingly, coming up through the sort of meta because of that 1.5 site. She's sort of met similar fortunes as that Warden, both operators having that incredibly potent scope on their weapons, which just allows them to really excel with that killing potential. Frost as well, still being used. I believe we're not quite seeing that Frost rework yet, so Peter perhaps just hoping to get as much value out of this operator as possible before that sort of comes into effect, and maybe they have to think about picking someone else.
What is your opinions on the Frost rework, Pooble? I want.
If I speak, I am in big trouble.
Is it? Do you not like it?
I just think it's unnecessary. I think, especially when you have a certain operator that's banned like 90% of the time, maybe the resources should go into rebalancing that. But anyway, enough of that. We've got a round starting.
I mean, is Warden already going for a run out or spawn peek? No, he is going to be barricading the terrace door as it was previously. Dokuri not banned, which is interesting as well. But we're going back to the bans very quickly. I find that interesting that Dokuri didn't find herself off the board, but Flores instead. I don't find Flores as useful on this map as you know. Dokuri is probably the more useful option here. But I mean, teams are going to ban what teams feel they should. At the end of the day, it's just something interesting to bear in mind that you know those calls and alongside the flashbangs and the DMR is just superly OP. And to not ban her on Sky.
I think it's more just about the fact, as we even see with Ollie there before Cobra takes that early death, it's just based on how wide and expansive these defensive setups are. Flores is just so easy at dislodging that, but the Takaibi, the sort of operator of the minute right now, already got that opening pick. Ollie, though, does respond.
Exactly. Ollie does find the refrag onto the hard breacher of... Is it Super? Super, we're calling him now. On the hard breacher of Super, the Thermite. Although it is not the only hard breacher on the side of QUQ. They do still have the ace in play of Southers, and yet still to be used in any way, shape or form. Haven't taken any engagements either. A grenade goes out. Ollie taking a substantial amount of damage from the grenade, courtesy of the Iana of I-Man K. K we're going to start calling him. From the courtesy of K. All now being opened by the ace, and it's also going to let down as K takes some damage. Does take some shots, not really landed, I say that. Takes some shots, Peter finds himself taken down, puts the man advantage in the side of QUQ. Project 100 struggling to break down this attack of QUQ as K does find himself taken down, yet to be confirmed though, and is most likely going to be revived.
Yeah, 3 versus 3. As I say that, Larry and Mankai get 2 quick kills. 1 versus 3 now for Ollie. 1v2 can potentially do it. Got that 1.5. Very strong scope on a very sort of consistent gun with an MPX, but he's still got to find these frags. And looking for him, the cut players, they're splitting up, but he looks away at just the wrong time. Souther gets that final kill. And Cook put their first on the board. Yeah, siege timing, really. It was almost a gift of a scenario when those players split up. It's really the thing you want to see in that defender in the clutch, but it just gets away from him. He looks away just the wrong time, a feeling all too common in any siege player there, and It's just
Any
a
FPS
really
game.
unlucky circumstance.
In any FPS game in general, but yes. Just,
But it was still right until the end. I would say that was a strong defense from Project 100. It's just they let those kills slip away. Those 2 picks
exactly.
in that final sort of 40 seconds there, which just allowed Cook to completely swarm the site. Without them, you're potentially looking at a Project 100 round. The setup, it did its job. It wasted a lot of time. They even managed to get that trade. The opening kill, of course, it's not something you really want. Letting that Dekaibi get away with it. Potentially due to the calls. Yeah, it's just sort of... You can tell this is one of those high-seeded Swiss stage matches already, because already that first round even, was just up to the slimmest of margins. 2 very, what on theory, equal teams there, and we're going to be seeing Project 100, I believe, run it back here. Obviously, both of the setups on this top floor can look quite similar, but yeah, they're in these same sites. They clearly have noticed where things have gone wrong. They're not bringing that form this time. The 1.5 being exchanged in favor of the Legion Mines as Ollie. He's once again going for this run out. Can he get it, Lewis?
No. I think he's going to. He's going to try and take some pre-fires. A bullet away would have killed. I think that was the Iana of K on the rappel. Nonetheless, fine. Anyone. I was secretly hoping he found someone there, Boogle.
Yeah, it would have been a very sort of hype moment there. Perhaps not the greatest if you're a Cook fan there. Just having one of your players taken away immediately, but Ollie just a little bit too anxious on that play. Goes a little bit too early. Misses the shots. Oh well, no damage exchange for him. There's no way that could have... But it didn't go wrong at all for him, let's say. There's no sort of risk in that at all. He still got away scot-free, so I don't think P100 could be too disappointed about that, but Ollie, he's actually staying here. He's really aggressive, and he's got support as well.
He does have that support via the Legion. Thermal, though, is going to be opening up the main breach. Got to get it open, and, well, now things are going to start getting increasingly harder for Project 100. The defense of Project 100 are now going to have to try and choke out as many points as possible for this Cook attack. They do have the advantage. They do have the breach open, and now the drones are coming into play to use that information to their advantage. Vod with the SMG-11 in hand is going to do his best to sneak up onto one of these Project 100 players, yet to do so just yet, though. Or onto one of the Cook players, sorry. But yet to do so, as they are going to getting over another breach and are being contested from the top dragon. I think this is top dragon. Yeah, top dragon.
Yeah.
What do you really call that, though? It's not in dragon.
I think it's Shrine, but as we're waffled away, Larry once again gets that opening pick. He's just been on fire with this Dekaibi, but again, a trade quickly follows. Project 100 doing a lot better in this round. As the action's coming a lot later. That's a sign that the setup improvement has really worked here. They're forcing the attack to go on low time, but again, it seems like kills are just dropping the way of the attack as Ollie gets downed, then finished off by Suther. Still, man, disadvantage of P100. They looked so well, but they're still, to be fair, them clawing it back. Cobra gets 1 and a second on top of that. 2 versus 1. This time, P100 forcing Cook into that clutch in such little time for Anakin here. What a rebound from Project 100.
Yeah, I mean, they played that exceptionally well. Cobra with 2 incredible kills to bring back the man advantage into the favor of Project 100. 13 seconds left, though. We cannot discount Anakin here. Me and you people have seen it plenty of times in our days of casting. These last minute 1v2s can easily turn to 1v0s, but it's not going to happen this time as the clock strikes 0. And it's Project 100 getting their first round on the board.
Yeah, and immediately you could see the improvement there from P100, just from the fact that the execute came so much later. The action as well was so much later into the round. They were being a lot more conservative with their bodies, with their intel, with their utility usage as well. And once that opening kill did come from Larry, instantly they just snap onto the trade. Incredible play from P100, just steadying the ship there, getting that point win. As we sort of said, they really should have gotten that first round, and that already puts them on a much better foot compared to that 0-1 start of this matchup. As they head to this other second floor site, they're going to need to continue with this style of gameplay, though. I think they need to be playing this cautious mix of aggressive just to keep the attackers at bay, but not overstaying your welcome, because that was really sort of the problem with P100 in that opening round. You saw one of the players on that extended roam getting taken out by the Kaibi immediately, really. There was not really much resistance at all. I believe we're going to be seeing this sort of extension again. There's a lot of attention already being brought to that west side of the map, where that other side used to be. We're seeing at least Ollie playing there. He's playing very aggressive. Reinforcements being invested as well. Even a Kayed Claw, I think, onto the Geisha wall. So they are, once again, just spreading out across the map, getting their presence known, making the attack have to work for this map control, because that was really one of the keys to their success in that previous round.
Map control is key in competitive Siege. I say it every cast, and I stand by it still to this day, Boogle. You must take the map control. If you can't take the map control, you go straight for site, because when you can't take map control, it means every member of the defending side is off site, and then you can just hit site straight away. In this case, they need to take that map control and utilize the map control they are being allowed to give, as Project 100 are not... They're being too giving with the map control. They aren't holding as much as they could, or as much as they should be holding, and it's giving Cook just that little bit extra map control to take, but they aren't. But then alternatively, Cook aren't playing off that map control.
Yeah, but even close to sight, this is a very aggressive hold from FOD there. We've seen it before with that mirror window, and the ace breach from the attack there, it kind of almost helps out the defense by giving them a longer line of sight. Ollie, though, he does miss those shots, and the attack have now gotten that ingress into the building. One of the more difficult parts of the Skyscraper, just getting into the actual building itself, not even the site as the attack. So getting that step, just walking in already, immediately puts Cook on a good foot here. As Ollie, he's just forced all the way back.
Ollie does now reside to his position once more, which was Terrace, I believe that was he was at. And he's going to be trying to contest the window that one of the Cook players were trying to breach into, trying to vault into, but nonetheless they are not going to be able to. Drones are coming out, though, Pooble. Information being key for this attacking side, as we do see the Dokkaebi of Lux, what am I waffling like? Larry is lurking as a kill comes out onto FOD. That's Shamira gone, that's Shamira down and out. Not a huge impact kill, but yet, as we know, entries equals wins. And that opening frag is crucial as one more comes out. Though Kia does find Cobra off the board, some shots taken as well. Souther takes down Cedar. Cedar just exposed a little bit of his body, and Souther finds one more. That's his 1, 2, and 3 to maybe find one more. Ollie says no, claims one as a refrag. Souther finds his fourth, 1, 2, 3, and 4 for Souther.
And I'm almost just sort of confused as to how Souther finds all those kills, especially onto FOD. Initially, I thought the Ace had managed to move their way into the actual building itself and just get an angle through. Looking back on it, it seemed like they'd actually breached that single wall next to the bar and just shot the mirror, because the mirror window was soon shut out after. So that's a crucial player being lost very early on. That mirror window is the one thing stopping the attack from just sort of flooding through that actual site wall itself. So when FOD's taken down, they really have a lot more freedom to go in, and that forces the actual living defenders to push a lot more aggressive to stop that breach. But what the Mute player didn't really understand, I didn't actually catch their name, but they were just not aware that they could be seen from that angle because they'd gotten so aggressive. So Souther, who'd already had more than enough impact in that round, gets another, and then from there he just slowly walks across the breach, gets another, so really good just crosshair placement from Souther there, and then Ollie alone in the chaos of that 1v4, Souther just snaps up his fourth on the round. So great play from the Ace there, both in utility and just through gunfights himself. They're going to be running back this side again for P100 though. A whiffed Kayed Claw, I think, from Cobra. He can't recover that. So 2 claws being used on one single wall there potentially could come back to bite them if they don't have the utility to keep another wall closed. That could potentially have a big knock-on effect. But not the worst thing in the world. It's just at least they've got 1 claw. That's shocking, 1 wall. 1 wall's better than none.
Yeah, one electrified wall is better, and they have picked up the Mozzie this time though as well. The Pooble Mozzie obviously being used to capture the drones and use those drones against the attackers. Although he does have the P shooter of the P10 Brony with only 16 bullets in In the barrel, it might not be the most effective gun to bring. Nonetheless, though, C4 is also in pocket. So there's pros and cons with Mozzie. Doka Be Cool comes out. We were talking about the calls at the start, and we were interested why she wasn't banned. And, well, I bet Project 100 right now are regretting their decisions of not being banned. Ollie, though, 3 shots taken and 1 kill found. Larry taken off the board for Cook. That is the Doka we were just talking about. I think Boo will have to cast a curse in full effect.
Yeah, absolutely. You were saying about how it's a pea shooter. Oh, not a lot of damage per shot. Ollie says, nuh-uh, just hit the head. 1-shot kill. Incredibly blistering fast rate of fire on that P10 as well, along with the 1.5. Makes the kills all too easy for Ollie. Breach is now coming out. The Kayad Claw, unfortunately, countered by a single EMP. There isn't a second one either to try and trick that wall either. So, once again, that crucial breach is open as Mankai improves the attacker's situation drastically by getting not 1, but 2 vods down. Caesar, though, does at least get a train to suffer.
Kills as a quick succession, Pooble is what we like. Man advantage in the face. No, it is even. I thought Super was still alive, but I clearly missed that. Man advantage is evenly restored with only 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock, and execute has to start being made, has to start being planned within the next 5 or so seconds, Pooble, or else things are going to get increasingly hard for Cook. Does whiff with a factory grenade. That's not what you're wanting, as he does whiff, but sort of millimeters away from his foe of Caesar. The bandit is just around the corner. Could be devastating. Ollie finds his second of the round, though, with the P10 Rody claiming just 1 more victim. He's going to be looking into Geisha now. Kay is aware of the Mozzie's position, the Mozzie of Ollie. But does Ollie know his position now? He does. A quick peek out. Some shots are taken and none landed. Ollie, yes. Find his third, but Souther does take down Ollie. Says no thank you, no more kills for you. You're going to stick with 2 this round.
Yeah, and once again, Project 100, they do manage to stem the bleeding for now. As I say, that Souther, real power player for Cook here, gets another. And Cobra eventually gets taken down by Mankai. So once again, Cook putting another round on the board, and Project 100, they're just getting caught out in these gunfights. You could potentially point towards, that Kayad Claw right at the start. In fairness to him, there was nothing much he really could have done. I'd imagine that second claw would have been used to try and trick it, but Anakin and that Thatcher did use 2 AMPs. So despite us really saying that could be a big problem, that was far from the real issue for P100, and that real issue was just losing the gunfights, it seemed like. They peeled back to site fairly well. They weren't overstaying their welcome for the looks of things. Ollie even getting quite aggressive, just wasting a little bit more time, but still, they just can't win these ones. Mankai, phenomenal player. Suther as well on that ace, just providing so much in terms of that just those gunfights. And in this current meta, that's really the most important thing for teams. We can talk about utility usage all day long, but when there are so many powerful guns, and especially the defense with their 1.5 scopes, there's so much sort of lethality on that side. If you can just respond by winning your ones on the attack, it puts you on such a good foot. So we're seeing Project 100 come back to this site, this karaoke tea room, the only site they've won so far, changing up their operator choices again. We're seeing that Mozzie come back. We're seeing Legion instead of Thorn again, which did bring them success last time. Vod's still on that mute, just trying to slow down the attack, it seems, but really, I think maybe we could see this defensive lineup be more sort of tailor-made towards such an aggressive team like Cook. Bring just a couple more traps, or especially something like the Capcan, which just has a solid gun as well. Just meet that aggression with aggression, because so far, playing the default, you're not winning it out.
Yeah. I've got to mention as well, people, yes, Project 100 are playing aggressive. However, I'm finding they are playing very restricted as well. The roamers are only roaming, and that may not make sense, but they're only playing around maybe 1 or 2 rooms. The point of a room is to deny as much map control as possible. So instead of just playing in those 2 rooms, move around to where the attackers are attacking from and deny them their main choke points. Anakin, no, does find the first of the round, though. Peter off the board, nice and quickly. That is your Frost. That is probably the best gun in the game, in my opinion. Off the board. Some damage is taken, no, Souther taking a lot, drastic amounts of damage, but Hay does take 1. Larry finds his second of the round, looking to maybe find the third. Souther, a slither of HP, 1 of the 2 hard breach duos on the side of Cook, and the third comes out from the Iana of K. He is going to move into Drum alongside 3 of his other teammates, are going to try and find 1 more, and he does, he finds the 4th, he finds the 4K, the round over within seconds of it starting.
I mean, it's just aggression, like I was saying. So focused, just a completely focused rush there. Mankai really leading the charge. Incredible play from the Yana, but incredible play from them all, really. We saw Suther in a very dangerous situation. I'm sure he's sort of thanking his lucky stars that the impact somehow missed, but Larry just takes it upon himself to push up those stairs, get that kill onto the defender, and leaving Suther alive, albeit on low health, but still that's an extra man on the board. But just from there, it all just spiraled out of control for P100 as these defenders, they kept trying to put themselves in positions to stop this charge, to stop this rush from the attack, and they just get carved down. Mankai on 12 now, reaching double digits, and we're not even halfway through the match. Incredible play from him, and Cook really just seemed to get this match. They are just thoroughly taking control here. We could potentially be seeing a 5-1 half, because Cook, they've let this momentum keep on going. They're not afraid of P100, despite, as we were harping on, P100 being such a dominant and scary team throughout these groups. But Cook, they just come out swinging. They clearly know this map. They know different strategies to use. They are also just on these comfort picks, I'd imagine, especially the Yana. Mankai just seems so proficient at using this. And now, P100, they've been forced all the way down to Kitchen Lewis. They've gone all the way to a base floor site here. It's going to be very difficult to maintain control, but the only saving grace here is Cook haven't exactly run into it. They've not got a sledge, and that could be crucial here.
Yeah, not bringing that sledge is huge. There's next to no vertical play being able to be used or utilized. The only two operators that are able to play on the vertical play is the Thatcher and the Ace. The two operators on the side of Cook with the breaching charge and are able to open up large surface areas of that soft wall, of that soft floor. And well, as you said, this not bringing the sledge is going to cause them some issues. Nonetheless, though, it isn't about what they haven't brought, and it is about what they have brought. Ollie does find one. It's an instant refrag onto Anakin as he did take down his teammate Cobra, which is the Wamai. Not an impactful kill, but that one is no fault off the board. That's your castle. Souther taking him down. Some more kills in quick succession. Souther finds Caesar, and now it's all crumbling for Project 100 as they are at a 2-man deficit now. It's a 2 versus 4 going into the final 1 minute and 40 seconds. We aren't even 2 minutes into this round. Ollie with an incredible 5-9-3. 1, 2, 3, and not the 4th for Ollie as Larry shuts him down. That is the Dokumi once again. The calls coming in useful once again. It's all up to Peter with the DMR in hand. He is the Aruni, and he does still have his gates to play around. Shoots the Gemini, and now they are aware of his position and does have to try and find a way back to site, back to a safe position, and play around what is familiar to his surroundings. DMR still in hand, and one more call does come out. That's your final. Though could be cool. They are aware of where he's playing. The question is, what can Cook do in this situation, in this 2 versus 1?
There is one saving grace here for Peter, though, and that is Cook have shown that when they're in these man advantages, they like to split up. And Peter, with such a strong sort of damage per shot weapon here in this DMR, if he can just catch one of these players off guard, suddenly it becomes very winnable. Mankai just teasing the shot, but Peter can't land the actual hit. Punches the wall for a bit of a distraction, but now his position is known, and that plant is surely going to get stuck here. He has to make a play here, getting very aggressive, but Mankai is now suddenly being a lot more laid back, restrictive, because he knows that the diffuser is down. Time is in the favor of the attacking Peter. He's going to have to go for this. He's going to have to go for gunfights here. Time is no longer an option here. He could try and stick a counter diffuse, but that's not going to happen at all as Larry just charges in, takes down Peter in a 5-1 half for Cook. My God. These last few rounds have been incredible.
We were saying how excited we are to see Sky, and I think, and I have to say, people, I think it's going to be ends fast. It's going to be a quick end if I can stop stumbling over my words. My God, what a couple 6 rounds we've seen.
They're just so confident on these attacks, and we're going to have to see if that translates onto their defenses, because when you're on the defense, confidence can sometimes be sort of merged with a little bit of over-aggression, and that could potentially pave the way for Project 100 to maybe punish Cook for a couple of decisions that they shouldn't be making here. But so far, they have looked very smart with their decision-making, as well as just very fast-paced. If they can keep this momentum rolling on their defense, as they are picking a little bit more of a frag-heavy lineup, we're seeing the Mankai on that Goyo. That does have area denial, but also the Vector, Mankai as well, just shown to be a very deadly player here, so giving him such a high rate of fire gun could spell disaster for Project 100. The Thorn being locked in as well with that 1.5 times scope, slowly moving up in terms of those playtime charts as more teams just opt for another operator with such a strong scope. The Gadget as well, can provide some intel, though I don't think you'll be getting a lot of damage dealt with it. It purely is just sort of a beefed up proximity alarm, I'd imagine, being used by Anakin there, as they're going to be defending Karaoke T, which so far does have that only defensive win this entire map.
I have to say one thing, Pooh, we have pointed out, and we don't see them much in competitive play so far. And especially on this map, they'd be incredibly useful. We don't see an observation blocker in play. Obviously, as we know, the observation blockers, they're placed on the floor. They create a wall, so no drone, Gemini clone, anything like that can see through it. And I think on Skyscraper, where the map is so dependent on vertical play and clearing out roam, that it needs to be brought, and I really like them. One other thing I really like, though, is seeing kills. Souther does find one, Caesar find a refrag, onto two, Souther and Anakin taken out nice and quickly off the board within a minute of the round, going ahead, and now it is going to be Cook at a two-man deficit now. They are going to have to try and find their ones, find their frags, and isolate the 1v1s to regain and claw back that one-man deficit.
Yeah, but look at Cook here. They are not keen on giving up this map control at all. Mankai is still playing behind the shield. Had Larry as well to just refill those Wamai discs around him. We still see at least two in play here. So Mankai, he can really just sit behind the shield if he wants to. He's getting very aggressive here. Pre-fire, though, almost meets his head there. So Mankai just gets a little bit more defensive. Again, he can still play behind the shield. There is nothing that can really stop him. EMP comes out, though, disabling those magnets as Larry takes that as a cue to be a bit more aggressive, and it works wonders for him. They've managed to even out this man count, and they still have quite a lot of presence outside the site, although Mankai has finally peeled back because the damage is done. When Larry gets that pick, Mankai's wasting more than time, punches the hole. It's just such an inopportune moment as Caesar gets his third on the round and puts Cook once again in that man disadvantage.
Cook now have a lot of work to do to regain what is left of this round, moving into the final minute. Time, though, is the biggest enemy for both parties. Time, obviously, being a huge pressure for the attacking side, for Project 100. They do have to try and start thinking about, okay, what do we need to do here to try and fork out these last two players and try and get, get the diffuser down. But Caesar has other ideas. He finds a grenade, finds a 4K. On for the ace. Could we be seeing an ace from Caesar to say no thank you? We're saying this one more round. Project 100 are showing what they are made of. Supia, though, is the final one left with the SMG 11 in hand. Does injure Caesar. No ace for you today, sir. And now it's all up to the hard breaching duo, the Thermite and the Ace, Fod and Cobra. Both players, both of the support players are the only two remaining. Only 6 seconds left. And Super has done immaculate time wasting, but it's not going to be enough, as now he does run into the line of sight of Vods and Team and Project 100 stay in this for one more round.
Caesar just a hero in that round. Such good game knowledge there, going for those three with the rifle, and then noticing that they've met a bit of a roadblock there with that Cook defense. So he rightfully just takes himself out of the action, goes all the way down below, cooks a nade and blows up another member of Cook, ironically, I guess, and gets 4 on the board. Could have maybe got that ace, but Supper just very aggressive there, and notices that the Arno is in an inopportune sort of moment there, still with that animation coming out of the Gemini replicator, takes the shots, gets the pick, but still Supper was left in that 1 versus 2. At least he met the scoreboard now, 1 on the board. We've got still Peter 007, a bit of an unfortunate match for him, but he's playing those more supportive roles, and he's at least had a bit of an impact with that. They won the round last time, partly due to just the util he provides. The Thatchers allowed them to get quite close to the site on that attack, but maybe you'd expect to see a little bit more from him, just given the pedigree of the team he's on. But either way, they could still, Project 100, they looked good in that round. They looked a lot commanding, even with Caesar going on those sort of heroics is something you can't really rely on often. And the other members of the team were there to keep up the pace, keep up the pressure, keep Cook even feel a little bit more boxed in thanks to Caesar's heroics. But the thing is, you can't rely on Caesar popping off, getting 4 in a round, so we really need to see how the team as a whole respond in this next attacking round.
Couldn't agree more. One thing I have noticed, people, and it's slightly interesting. I haven't seen a Solus yet. Solus being available to be played, and yet not yet been played in this match so far, which is slightly interesting because, well, why would you not play her? She's the IQ of defense, and she can gather so much intel. and then having two of the best SMGs in the game, and a shotgun. It's just and impacts as well. We've got to remember. It's interesting she's not been seen. A bandit trick though does come out earlier in the round to deny one thermite charge, and another one is going to come out, but no bandit charge to meet it this time, as they now have the breach open. They are going to be trying to take the map control as quick as possible. Bandits still in exhibition. He's going to be trying to deny the jump in from split and denying any map control on this office side.
Yeah, we're just seeing a little bit of a stalemate here. No gunfights really occurring yet. As Caesar, not the Gemini, the Yana themselves, jump in and get quickly taken down by Larry on that bandit. But Ollie's taken that brief moment of chaos to slowly slip up these stairs. But he's not looking! Come on, man! Larry just charges and gets another. Larry is eventually taken down by Pizza, who's finally met the scoreboard. But still, Project 100, a couple of bizarre plays there leading to a man disadvantage.
Lowry has gone huge there, as we'd say. 2 kills in quick succession of each other, but we have to comment, what was the Iana or Caesar doing? Why would you jump in? You don't know where he is. And, well, I mean, it should have been a kill for Caesar. The bandit of Larry wasn't looking, but nonetheless, he somehow found him. Let's not worry about what's happened in the past of the round. Let's worry about what's happened now, as Man K does find Vod, an instant free frag from Pizza, though. And it goes to the 3 versus 2. Cook do have the man advantage in coming into the dying phases of this round. And 40 seconds left, and only 2 members of Pro 100 remain. Pro 100 are still struggling. Yes, they are picking up the pace slightly, but still struggling as Sutter creates a crucial kill. The diffuser is down. All they have to do is hold it. Poobal, I think this round is going in the favour of Cook, and they are going to take themselves to match point.
Yeah, Cobra just in this 1 versus 3, he's given away his position and immediately met with a Nitro Cell. Almost straight to the face. He's on a single amount of HP as Anakin just puts him out of his misery. And a very good response from Cook there. And I particularly like the use of the Aruni there, just using those gates to stop that aggression that absolutely just mauled them the previous round. And I really like Sutter's play around that drum position as well. He knows he's completely safe there because the gate would give away if an attacker came in. And on the other side, the attack aren't really going to anticipate him to be that far up, that late into the round. He just gets a freebie onto the player pushing up towards that site wall. So really good play with their utility. It's something Cook have just been great at in these defensive rounds, just playing around their setups expertly, and it's led them to already get to that 6-point margin. 1 more round needed, 4 attempts until we go to overtime, and after that they can still win it out. They would just need 2 more rounds on top of it. Cook looking dominant here on Sky, and they could potentially send Project 100 into another bit of turmoil as they go down to that final match.
They're just, I have to say, Cook are just absolutely dominating. No questions asked. They are everywhere and they are anywhere and everywhere on this map, finding kills out of blue, out of nowhere. And I mean, I have to say, Project 100 are struggling to attack this. They struggle to defend it, and they're once again now struggling to attack it. And it is, you know, this is the last round we could possibly be saying. This is a do or die moment. They have to win this. Not only do they have to win this, they then have to go and win the next 4 rounds and try and take us to overtime. It's a tall ask and a lot of work for them to do. And I just can't see them doing it at the moment, Poobal, with the recent performance, with the recent rounds.
Yeah, Ollie bringing out the Twitch there, which would make sense if Cook were employing a mirror on this side as is usually picked, but there's no mirror here, so it could potentially be a bit of a misplay from Project 100. He's stuck on that FAMAS, which might not be as controllable as it once was. He can still get kills. I'm not actually quite sure how the recoil sort of stacks up on console compared to PC, but a lot of people sort of prefer to run away from Twitch now, but it's going to be interesting to see if he actually can find much value here. Without that glaring tie of the mirror, there's nothing to really fight. Mankai, though, does get fought, and Pizza actually wins out that engagement. That's the problem with playing so up front with that shield. You've got that window next to you, and Peter just punches it out, gets the kill, runs away. But can't run off Mannequin's bullets, though, as eventually a trade comes out. And once again, we're on even man count.
Even man count, but not for much longer, as Caesar takes an engagement and comes out on the back foot. Cobra to claim Larry, though, the Jaeger, and that is A big kill, and Ollie to claim one more super off the board. And to respond on a third, and Anakin off the board as well. Sutter in this 1v4, it is looking oh so unlikely, and yes, it is. Caesar, despite the low HP, swings and claims Sutter and says, no thank you, we stay in this one more round.
You know, maybe I was too harsh on the FAMAS. Two incredible kills there coming out from Ollie on that operator. So, you know, he's shut me up for sure. Perhaps Twitch really is the play, even without the intended counterplay there, maybe. But still, Cook have got 3 more rounds to win as they go down to Kitchen here. And it's going to be a case of, are Project 100 going to read into this and actually bring a vertical operator? We're seeing Cobra immediately on that sledge, so that suggests, yep, they know it. And that could put Cook in a very bad situation, especially if 1 or 2 of their roamers eventually die early on that sort of vertical roam. I would imagine it's going to be a vertical roam anyway, because you need to protect those rooms, especially Geisha, or else you risk just having that floor be completely minced up by the sledge. A lot of angles open up, and that's not something the defenders want to deal with. We're seeing a very heavy utility investment up here. Anakin bringing a bulletproof camera, likely going to place some ADSs down as well. Sutha, maybe some magnets there as well, because it does seem like the defense are just going to bunker down up here. They don't want to give away any of this map control. And you really can't blame them, because if they did, and the attackers like Cobra, who's strangely enough actually picked onto the Lion here, so foregoing any consistent vertical utility, you're still going to have breaching rounds. And Ford not even bringing breaching charges. Could this be a horizontal rush, Lewis? Because that really seems like it could be the sort of the plan here. If they don't want to deal with this hold stairs, just go straight for a horizontal push.
I mean, looking at the operator roster they brought, and you know the composition of them, it's got to be right. I mean, they've only brought one hard breacher, where before we've seen them bring 2, and now they brought the Lion, and so we are just going to have to wait and see. But it looks like maybe not. Maybe they are just going to try and clear out this top floor presence. The question is how quickly can they do so? As we know, you have to try and clear out this top floor presence extremely quickly, especially on Skyscraper, because of the verticality of the map, the vertical potential of it, and they are going to have to use their drones to the fullest extent. So that yet to be droned now has, and they are aware of his position in T room, forcing him to move back ever so slightly and play on these head tolls via the feet holes. And his teammate, Larry, has moved himself back down the main stairs, yet and not given any assistance. Peter is in the building, is in reception, is aware of Larry's position on main stairs, and has whiffed, or kitchen stairs, sorry, has whiffed some shots. Sutter does take down Ollie. That is the switch, no longer being able to use the F2 this time round. Peter does push up extremely close to Larry, does find Supia. Yet to find Larry, though, who is going to move into a bit more of an aggressive position on the bar. One more is going to come out from Peter, though. He does find 2, maybe to find the third. Caesar finds Sutter, though. It's crumbling away for Cook as Fod finds Larry and Peter to close it out, claiming Anakin. It's kills in quick succession and a no-nonsense round from Project 100.
And I really think Peter bailed them out of a bad situation there. I don't know what Project 100's plan was. They had no soft breach to break open that floor. They had only 1 ace charge, which can't even break the hatch onto site. It really just seemed like the strategy was hope that Peter gets 2 or 3 and draws attention away from everyone else, and then hope that Caesar gets a couple as well. It was a poor game plan that was really carried by just excellent gun skill and excellent sort of situational awareness and just heads-up plays from those 2 entry operators there. And it's given Project 100 another round into this, another bit of a lifeline here. Still 2 more attempts for Cook to close this out, but perhaps Cook are going to get a little bit shaky here as they're seeing their lead slowly trickle away. They're going back upstairs. Karaoke Tea Room, again, going to be the most successful defensive site today, I'd imagine, on Skyscraper. Only won that P100 one, and Cook have won it at least once, I think. The setup is going to likely be very similar. We're still going to be seeing someone playing on that shield, likely Mankai next to Dragon. He's been shown, he's very confident just sitting there throughout the round, and there's a lot of defensive utility to help him, particularly Anakin with those magnets on the Wamai. Elsewhere, we are seeing a bit of an extension towards Office as Sutter just makes some more holes. So it's going to be that classic sort of aggressive hold from Cook here. They just need to really not let these past few losses get to their head, because they've shown to be proficient at this. If they just keep with that form, they will close this out 7-4. But in the moment, you can start to get a bit shaky, and that's something they can't really afford to happen.
Cook are looking to maybe respond with aggression. Fight fire with fire, as a saying is. Project 100 coming in incredibly aggressive. So they do have to try and meet them with that same aggression. They are going to be getting this house wall open. Peter on the upside down rappel, and they are aware of one of the Cook players' positions. Very, very close to the wall. However, this impact trick has worked a charm, Poobal, as it's allowed the Cook player to rotate away and then not and allowed and denied, Project 100 from opening up the breach. Very well played.
Yeah, and it's once again just going to add time towards this Project 100 attack because they're just going to have to spend more and more of those precious seconds getting closer. But Suther's really given them an opportunity to close it out, but Caesar just gets taken down. You can't be allowing Suther to get that freebie, and he gets another. Cobra's down. What's happening, P100? You've let the same player run out twice in a row. It should have been a free kill for the Lion, especially for Cobra as well. It's all really up to Ollie here if he can make this backstab work. With this barbed wire, they'll hear him. It's going to be a slow push if it even happens at all. As Fod, he's crawling up ahead, likely going to be taken down though. He's looking against a shield. Ollie does get one. If Fod can win this against Mankai, P100 is still in this, but it's such a high pressure situation here.
Extremely high pressure, and it is just falling out of Project 100's grasp, and they are going to have to try and regain that grip onto this round, moving into the final minute. They have lost one of the hard breachers, but yet they do still have one of the even at the man advantage. Mank does fall, but Larry to instantly refrag onto Ollie, and it's all up to Peter and Fod. The Ace and the Ash, the 8K12 and the G36C. The diffuser is in hand. Still do have drones in hand. No, Souther finds one. Fod off the board. Diffuser has been dropped but was retrieved instantly by Peter. Now he's in the 1 versus 3. I think this is it. I think this is game, set, and match for Cook. Although Peter is going to be going nice and slowly towards the door, and he is going to try and swing, take some shots, and does come off on the back foot. And it's game, set, and match for Cook. Project 100 drop down to the elimination bracket, and Cook progress.
Really just dominant match from Cook there. I mean, you've seen it play out in front of you. They looked confident in basically all of those rounds. They were very aggressive, but that was measured aggression. Aside from maybe Suther in that final round, but it somehow still worked. Just lobbing himself out of the building, getting those 2 crucial picks. But yeah, and it sort of continues the woes of P100. They didn't get to the best start in that playoffs in this Swiss stage, and now they're potentially looking at elimination, which is something wild for the team that had such a strong group stage. 5-0-0-0, not even an overtime match, everything going down in regulation, and now potentially about to bow out before the finals even start.
It's just so unlike Project 100 from what we've previously seen as well, Poobal. They were so dominant in the group stages, in stage 2, and then moving. They were just been so dominant, and for them to go out like that, or maybe even go out like that, is horrible. It's just so not good to see. Obviously, they do have that safety net. They do drop down to the elimination bracket and can work their way slowly back up to the top. However, it has made their run in ESA Season 6 that just a little bit harder.
Yeah, and just congratulations to Cook. They've made it to the final. Cook did. Oh, sorry, Project 100. Really like they were going to win that, but Cook, congratulations, just storming through that match. Suther and Mankai especially doing wonders on the scoreboard. Suther sort of snuck his way up to 17 kills, I think, by the end of that, with that 4K at the end. Incredible play from him. Really just a very good cohesive unit. They were moving as one. They were securing each other's exits if one of them decided to pull back. Great sort of map knowledge throughout them. You can tell that despite Skyscraper being not picked that often, they were very comfortable on it, and potentially they could roll it out again in finals, but they are going to have, well, their opponents at least will have a little bit more to sort of judge them on that. So we might see Skyscraper again. You'd hope we'd see Skyscraper again, but maybe they've took it out the vault for one match and they've decided, right, people have seen it, that's enough, go back, and they'll just play their usual boring maps in the finals. But we'll have to see.
Indeed, we will have to just wait and see Poobah. And well, we might see it again in our next two matches for this evening. But before we do that, we are going to take a 10-minute break to get everything set up for our next match. So don't go anywhere. Join me and Poobah back here after the break. We are back in business. Welcome back to ESA Cup. Joining me is Poobah. I am still Velocity. And Poobah, this match is going to be a good one. Minions versus E-Wave, the champions of Season 5 versus E-Wave. The team that's probably one of the favourites to win this. And not only that, Poobah, what map are we off to?
Okay, we're off to Oregon, and he's like cringing hearing that. I don't mind Oregon, and I think everyone sort of in this little production call hates it. I don't. I think Oregon's quite nice. But yeah, Minions versus E-Wave.
Matches. Only on big matches, Oregon is acceptable.
Well, you see a lot of filler in best of threes and best of fives, but even in best of ones, I think there's merit to it because you can just sort of see the thought process of certain teams, and potentially we might be seeing Minions picking Oregon here because they're on a bit of a loss streak so far. They lost a best of three in the RSX League Major. They've lost their last ESA playoffs match, and they lost an eFuture League group stage match as well. So they're on this 3-match loss streak. And maybe they just need to go back to their basics, play a bit of Oregon to get their confidence back because, again, we don't want to see another one of these big teams going to these very risky sort of elimination matches like we've just seen P100 go. If you just missed it, P100 lost 7-4 as Team Cook ascended to the finals. And Minions, maybe we don't want that to happen to them as well.
Yeah, we've also got to remember, Poobah, this is E-Wave's worst map so far. They've lost it twice in this stage 2. This is
okay, right.
In stage 2, they have lost it twice. So their worst map was stage 2 so far. So coming on to Oregon isn't really going to go into their favor.
Yeah, but I guess as a lot of people say, Oregon, it can kind of swing 50-50 either way.
Exactly.
And it is just one of such a basic map that really you can almost never really extrapolate data from it and say this team struggles at Oregon because it almost just seems like it's down to the day really with a lot of teams. So potentially Minions hoping that they've rolled the dice well and that they're going to progress here because otherwise their woes are just going to keep on coming. The loss streak is going to continue, and this is a team that we know can be strong. They were second place last season. I'm not sure what parallel universe you've come from, where they were champions in season 5.
Oh, I thought.
I guess you could say that because Entropy are no longer with us, so they are the highest placing team still in ESA, but still they are a very dominant team. They were incredibly strong last season. They had a little bit of a shakier start this season, you could say, especially as they've lost one of these Swiss stage matches that's put them in this situation here. So they're really just looking for that bounce back, and Oregon could really be that.
It most certainly could be. Well, let's hear from our predictions then, Poobah, if we move on to the community prediction. As you can see it on your screen just now, it is in favour of Minions with a 59% of people thinking they are going to take it, 41 thinking E-Wave. Poobah, we've seen the community predictions. What's yours?
I think Minions should win this. I think Minions are still a strong team. I just think they're in a little bit of a slump right now. I agree with it being such a close matchup here, a close prediction here, but I don't think Minions should edge ahead of it. But we could potentially see that going something like 7-5, maybe even into overtime, because they haven't been their dominant selves recently, and Oregon could really give E-Wave an opportunity to put a few rounds on the board.
Most certainly, I really do think it is possible for this to go either way. You know, we know it's Oregon. It's the map where Giants go to die. It is the most default of basic maps. Everyone knows how to attack it. Everyone knows how to defend it. So it comes down to who is the better team. And well, both teams having such great runs so far. This match can go either way.
It really can. And I think before we start it, we can just get a look up on this Swiss system now, just for a bit of wider context here, it doesn't include that match that's just been played. So Project 100, unfortunately, they dropped down to that 2-2 matchup bracket there as Cook. They progress onto the finals here. So just shift them along in your head. But overall, these are the current standings. 2 teams, 3 now already qualified for the finals, and 2 going home, sadly. So things are really beginning to heat up as we enter the final sort of stage of this Swiss format.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to see the match. I love myself a big Titan match, especially on Oregon. So I mean, we just I'm just being impatient now.
Yeah,
I want to see it, and I want to see it happen.
I do not believe the U-turn that Lewis here has just undergone. He was kicking and screaming when he heard it was Oregon, and now he's all can't wait to watch. But anyway, we'll have this matchup.
I don't remember that.
We'll have this. Oh, well, I certainly do. We'll have this matchup in just a moment here. But before then, I guess we can just talk a little bit more about these teams. This brief time we have, Minions again should be favored here, but E-Wave, they're kind of almost a bit of a dark horse and everything. We often write them off because there are better teams, but they usually put up consistent numbers, consistently good games here, and they're actually coming off the board of a 5-match winning streak here. One of those was a best of 3 in RSX, where they actually beat P100 2-0. So momentum-wise, E-Wave are actually on quite a high compared to Minions being quite a low, and that could really factor in this matchup. One of these teams, well, I guess both these teams continuing their respective streaks if E-Wave come out with this on top. And that will, of course, bring E-Wave to the finals, which, again, puts more pressure on Minions as they are really on that very tense 2-2 bracket. And it's not where any teams really want to be, because when you're under that pressure, you can start making mistakes. And things just overall might not go as well as you'd expect, especially if you're against a strong opponent. As we know, P100 is down there waiting. I'm not exactly sure how things will match up. I think because both these teams are in the sort of same high bracket, they can't face each other there. Someone might have to fact check me on that. But still, there are other sort of quite strong teams down below in the sort of lower seeded things. Things like even teams like Tracker Clan that, although maybe haven't had the best seasons previously, they came out with that statement win against Project 100. And even you've got like MVG Germany who have shown they can be good at times. So an upset could happen in that final bracket, but we're not there yet. We're still in these high seeded matches, as I think we're just about to get into game. Very, very shortly. So I think we can just throw to the sort of intro sequence here as we are just getting into Oregon.
Oregon, we are off to the map where giants go to die, and Poobal, I need to hear straight out the doors, no sugarcoating it. What are the ban predictions?
Well, I always say Nook, and I'm really annoyed that I didn't say Nook last time because Nook was the first ban. But Nook, you would expect to see. A lot of teams just don't like dealing with her. She still has the nades. She can. I don't believe she's silent anymore in terms of actual audio. I think those changes went through, but she can still just slip past defensive setups a lot of the time, and that can be quite a nuisance, really. But we're actually going to be seeing a Ying ban, which is another common thing for Oregon. It can allow you to really just bust open that basement site, just forgo a lot of other steps and just flood it with Candelas, get a good sort of ingress into that basement position, get some attackers down there, get a lot of positions cleared, get potentially a couple of kills. So it's not sort of too out the ordinary seeing a Ying ban there, as the second attacker ban will be the Flores again, just wanting to sort of maintain these perhaps more extended holds, especially maintain shield positions being up, because Flores can very easily destroy just various setups because the drones aren't sat by ADSs or magnets. So you can just slip past a lot of defensive countermeasures and cause a lot of chaos throughout the various setups.
Yeah, I do think we should see a Florida ban, no, a Solus ban here, but no, the Fenrir ban is going to come out, and I highly doubt the defending side is going to ban off the Solus, but it wouldn't surprise me if they do. And Bish Bash Bosh jobs are good, and Solus does come out. Solus and Fenrir, the final 2 bans over here on Oregon. I mean, 2 incredibly overpowered operators. We were talking about it last game how Solus was not picked in any way, shape, or form, despite her being on the board, despite her being probably the best operator in the game, and alongside the newly added Fenrir as well. Both now on the ban.
We have a bit of a problem here, and that is you only have 2 defensive bans. You banned out Fenrir and Solus, and Azami has slipped through, as has Valk. And these are 2 other strong operators that have had their time in the sun. Azami especially, not being brought here, neither the Valk either, but they can be very influential operators. Instead, we're going to be seeing them run with a little bit more of a defensive setup. We're seeing that Thorn brought again, so more teams just wanting to maybe stick their neck out, try and see if this operator is worth having. Now they have the 1.5 times scope. Film Gadgets themselves, not the best. Warden as well with that 1.5. Both of these operators bringing shields, so no Nitro for the Warden. Still 2 other Nitros on board for that defensive lineup with the Mirror and the Mute. But overall, we should be seeing quite a relaxed setup here. I'd maybe expect to see a bit of early aggression from these roamers, but they might just peel back to site as there is a lot of utility invested into that basement.
Exactly, and utility on this map is everything. Any bit of site denial you can get, any bit of utility burn or denial you can get is key on Oregon, because as previously mentioned so many times, it is a default map now. Everyone knows how to play it, everyone knows how to attack it, everyone knows how to defend it. There's nothing fancy anymore, so it is just a case of the more burn you can bring, the more likely you are to waste time. And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to on Oregon, especially on this basement site, Poogle. And it's even better for the side, for the defensive side, as they have brought the Mirror. Minions do have it on the board. It's not been banned, which is going to make E-Wave's attack even harder, as they have no way of getting rid of the mirrors other than the Habana. An engagement is going to be taken. No, XC takes down, how do we say that name? Hoverboard. That was a lot easier than never thought. Hoverboard gets taken down, and so does Dex as well on the side of E-Wave. Man advantage is now once again even and restored. Some punch holes coming through to be watching those boiler stairs, but no one is going to be walking down them just yet. Yellow pings out, but no one has been found other than XC, who has walked down the laundry stairs and is going to try and take some shots onto Closet, yet to find anyone that isn't aware of the Warden of Mad X Rhino, who is going to be swinging highway and is punished by EXC for swinging once again. And well, it's all crumbled for the defensive side, and it's now going to be a lot very easy for E-Wave to open up this site, to open up this defense of minions.
Yeah, strangely enough, Maxi on that Monty isn't really spearheading this charge at all. He was sort of playing around in that meeting hall position while players like X seem to be charging in. Now we see the Monty really get a bit more value, but so much health taken out already. But it's allowed Dipsy to sort of slink into this bunker position and get quite a good foothold here down below. Matty as well getting very aggressive and punished by Prison. Dipsy now on the trade, whiffs these crucial shots. Can he still get it? Yes, he can. Prison taken down 2 versus 3 now in favor of E-Wave as minions. They're slowly being cut down on site, but Exy trade up by Eli, and there's still quite a lot of hope here for minions as Alex gets another one onto the Monty, getting so aggressive. It's all on Dipsy, and Alex gets a second. Real mismanagement of these attacking roles, it seems like, as minions get their first round on the board.
It goes from minions looking like they're going to lose it to even man, and to minions to win it. They isolated the 1v1s. It came down to gunfights, and they played it so simply, but yet so well, and it led them to winning their first round. Minions take the first round of Oregon, Pooble, and wow, what a round it was.
Again, I am just a bit confused at the role of the Montagne there. They weren't really getting a lot of space. The space was already gotten by other attacking players. And then they weren't really going for the charge. When they finally make it to the site, Maxi just unextends, and Montagne sort of takes a lot more damage from explosives when they aren't getting directly onto a shield. And when a shield is unextended, the shield hitbox is a lot smaller, so there's more chance of those explosives sort of slipping by and doing more damage. And because he sustained so much damage early on, he has to get a lot more aggressive when it really gets to crunch time in that 2 versus 2. He tries to take a gunfight and just gets slaughtered by Alex Naldi, so a little bit of confusing play from E-Wave there. It seemed like they didn't quite understand their own setup. We're going to this upstairs site now, and E-Wave have now completely changed up. We've got Maxi on the Amaru, so from one of the most sort of defensive attackers to one of the most ballsy and aggressive on that Amaru. Dipsy as well with this Capitao. Potential for a bit of area denial here, as we're seeing Alex get very aggressive on this small power position.
Matey is just, as you said, the complete polar opposite. First they bring the Monty, And then they bring the Amaru, probably one of the most hyper-aggressive operators you can bring. But the F2 claims one more body. XC does take down Alex Nagoyo on the side of minions. That's an incredible opening kill with not even in the first 30 seconds of the round. Spawn Peak comes out, and XC to claim one more. He says no to Spawn Peaks, he says no to the Goyo, no to the Thorn, and takes them both down within the first minute of the round, putting minions in a tricky position into a 3 versus 5. Although this isn't impossible, it is going to be looking unlikely now with only 2 minutes left on the board, and they are going to have to do a lot of work to defend this side of E-Wave, who are looking incredibly strong. Grenades are coming out from below, and he's going to do an incredible amount of damage onto Rhino. The Frost on the side of minions.
Yeah, I thought maybe there'd be a little bit of team damage there by that nade, but cooked to perfection by Matty. But really, we've just seen that textbook minions aggression be completely countered by XE simply just holding the angle for a prolonged period of time. 2 kills there too. That puts minions on the back foot as a lovely vertical nade from Dex, takes him down, takes down Prism, but the Goyo canister still popped, which does stall that attacking push, as Eli has managed to maneuver around, downs one, but quickly traded out. 1 versus 5 now for Madrino. All on this frosted position is now known, it looks like. Or maybe Dex is just clearing up the hole. Yes, he was. Dex taken down, but Madrino just can't deal with all these guns looking at him. And there was a glimmer of hope for minions there, but aside from that, E-Wave just looked dominant throughout that entire round.
Wow. Just minions showing why they are on a 2-game losing streak on this map so far. They just aren't hitting the ground running so far, and it's just not what you're wanting to see if you are a minions player. They are struggling drastically, Booble, and they have to fix these mistakes quickly, or the consequences will be dire. And it is one thing they need to be doing in this next round, if not the round after. Time is of the essence now.
Yeah, and it's really interesting seeing this E-Wave lineup change, even though it's the exact same site. We're now seeing Maxi go again onto his 3rd operator of the game, this time onto that Nomad, watching for flanks, as Matty is adopting that Maverick, so we're likely going to see more of a focus on Attic here. There's no Capital being brought this time, so a lot less sort of chance for area denial. In fact, E-Wave doubled down on that flank watch, Gridlock being brought as well, using those EMPs as well, so a lot of utility being brought here. It's really interesting. This is going to be intrigued. I'm intrigued to see how E-Wave are going to deal with this attack, given that minions hopefully won't sacrifice 2 of their players at the very start. We need to be able to see E-Wave actually solve these problems on an even man count on this site, because if they can, minions are in a really dire spot here.
Yeah, minions absolutely cannot throw these bodies at E-Wave. E-Wave showing that, they are a very powerful gunning roster, proven by the last round, going a 3, having the 2-man advantage in the first minute, and well, this time it is the complete polar opposite, as XC does find himself taken down. It is the Gridlock off the board within a minute of the round, of only 2 minutes and 5 seconds left. Still ample amount of time for this to go either way. Although Alex, incredibly low HP, and well, he's going to have to play so passively here, Pooble, as if he's just been picked up from being injured. Has utilised the utility to the fullest extent, though. Display is going to be taking this master control and isn't going to be met by anyone through the head holes of Attic. It's 1, 2, and then no 3rd flash is going to follow up. And he is going to be forcing out the Mozzie of Mad Rhino out of pits, and Macy, does find Alex Matty injured, and it's all crumbling for the side of E-Wave. As 2 are downstairs, are going to be trying to clear out. What's happened there? Dex instantly refrags his teammate, and it puts them just at a 1-man deficit instead of 2. Macy, an incredibly low HP here, Pooble.
Yeah, E-Wave just don't really anticipate minions sticking out in these aggressive spots. We saw one of the players, I believe it was Eli, all the way down below, just shooting through that hatching Attic, which has completely halted this push, which seemed to be the center point of E-Wave's plan. Macy does get 1, 2 versus 1 now for him, still in this clutch. He's going to have to try and isolate these gunfights, but Minions suddenly playing so much more restricted, so much more conservative, holding these cross angles together. It's going to force Macy to really push deep to get one of these. He shoots the match, so at least he's not going to get down to that. But this harsh 90-degree angle of the defenders, good use of the flashbang as Macy. He's taken the corner. Can he get Eli? Yes, he can. Prison on such low health, but the shotgun takes him down. Brilliant attempt from Macy there as he had a great performance that round, but Minions, they steady the ship and get their second.
Minions have clawed it back and taken their lead for the second time this match with a 2-1 on the board. And we're back down to Laundry, the round that they won by the thread of the head. Is that the right way to say it? We'll move past it.
I have no idea what saying you're trying to say there.
Neither do I. But they only just won it through ball previously. Will they be able to win it with slightly more confidence this time? And that is the big question. They are putting the mirror back on the board, but this time adapting it slightly and bringing the Oryx. We do have to put out their Pooble.
Macy's on the
interesting. You beat me to it. Macy is on the Grim.
Is he trying to do like a world record for most amount of operators played? Because
I liked the Monty going into the site as they were playing it in this previous round. I just don't like the way E-Wave used it. They were not really getting aggressive with the Monty. They weren't using it to push out and gain space. So Eli may be anticipating that E-Wave are going to change it out a bit, and he's brought that Oryx to just take up that heads-up duel with the Monty. And Macy has told you, no, I've tricked you. I'm actually playing the worst operator in the game. I'm playing Grim. And Grim has undergone a number of buffs here, I think, including buffs to the actual weapon itself, so we could potentially see him frag out a bit. But the gadget still just... It is a lot of effort for comparatively little sort of reward for the team, those bees. So I just don't see a real reason to play him here compared to the Monty, but we'll have to see. E-Wave have managed to sort of win out rounds before that they shouldn't have with the questionable operator picks. So we'll see if that trend continues.
We will do just that, Pooble. It's a bit of a slow start for E-Wave. They aren't really in the building. They are only really taking the map control. They are taking it nice and slowly, though, trying to clear out the roam of Minions. Little do they know it. They are all on site other than one. I believe it is the Oryx on the side of Minions. They are going to have to try and clear him out if he is off-site. I'm unsure if he is. They are getting the hatches open, though, courtesy of the Habana, of her fidget spinners, and it is now going to be a bit of an issue. They are going to have to try and deny any hatch drops, any utility being thrown at them to clear out any of these nasty little angles, as some team damage comes out from Macy onto Dexter Habana. And it's going to make everything slow right down, go very hard, make that a little bit harder. The fuse has been dropped for some reason, though, Pooble.
Yeah, I see the thought process with the Grim here. They're going to try and flood those bees down the hatch and just spot out any defenders playing close, trying to maybe get a cheeky kill. They still haven't dealt with Hoverboard, who's on this very sort of late-game roam, all in these white stairs. He is known, though, so if he pushes out, he'll have to win that gunfight with Dex. But elsewhere, E-Wave is still spending a lot of time on this clear. Dex needs to get a bit more proactive here, but he's not in a position to do so, being the hard breach and with the case in hand. He has to go all the way back and actually forgo that roam clear, as Macy has now actually moved his way to the power stairs, being out the pillar, it seems, just to make sure the area is clear. But Eli can still hold a lot of aggressive angles. Madrino getting aggressive as well. The bees have not done their job at all, as Dex falls as well. E-Wave, their plan has come crumbling down as Maddie is now forced to push through bunkers. Does win the heads of gunfight. It comes to 3 versus 2, however. Macy's down to 3 versus 1. All an Exa can make it into a 2 versus 1, but once again in the clutch here, you can potentially isolate one gunfight, but caught on the reload. Siege timing, as you said. And E-Wave's plans there just never seem to really amount to anything.
Agreed. I mean, it just crumbled beneath E-Wave. They had a decent start. They took the map control quickly. They had the hatches open quickly. All they needed to do was drone and clear out the one player roaming. And they couldn't just do it. They went directly for site and it didn't work. They didn't win the gunfights. And it just became very sloppy at the end for E-Wave. And it did cost them the round.
Yeah, the bees didn't quite find that mark there. They didn't ping out Madrino, who was aggressive, holding that sort of hatch drop. once your players on the hatch top get slaughtered at the start, that round is basically over for the attack. They tried their best. They traded it all the way down to a technical 2 versus 2, so fair play to E-Wave there, but Minions, that defensive setup just wasn't really countered in any way by E-Wave there. So Maxi going to go on to his 5th operator here, playing that ace, the true flex of this team. But it still seems like maybe he should just pick one operator. The use of a Monty here, it's good for Oregon. You can clear out a lot of space, but I don't know what the plan is at E-Wave here. I'm not really sure what these strats are meant to achieve.
They are bringing the gridlock once again, and well, Dex on the gridlock didn't have much of an impact, let's be honest, Booble, last time round. So the question is, will they be able to have more of an impact this time? We are just going to have to wait and see, though. Additionally, Bandit Shotgun, some question marks, some eyebrow raises there, but nothing out of the ordinary. Mad Rhino with the siege timing could have found one of the E-Wave players in a shower corridor, but does just look away and, well, isn't able to find one. Vault rotates though in security, could lead to some kills, some shots to go out by Mad Rhino, and does claim XC, the Ash on the side of E-Wave. Not quite the impactful kill to start off with. There's another player, which is the ace of Macy. He is going to be walking off white, going to be playing extremely aggressive, which is not what you can afford if you are the only hard breacher on your attacking team, but he's not. It is, we do remember, display as well is also for Havana, does have the fidget spinners and is able to breach the wall. Additionally, has 3 flashes in hand, shots to take, and only a little bit of damage landed onto Rhino. Some more shots from the AK-12 are rattled out, but nothing to come of it.
Yeah, and we're seeing the value of this army elsewhere, just stalling out Dipsy here. Dipsy will eventually win this sort of war of utility attrition if Hoover doesn't just get aggressive, which he does. Slinks by, gets a kill on the Dex as well. Dipsy, how do you let that happen? Potentially going to die as well for his troubles. Hooverboard does just slip back, but he's caught in a bit of a crossfire now. Is he going to just go for it? Yes, he is. Just charges back. Gets through that hole, nearly opened by the Habana, but Dipsy eventually gets it. But so much time and utility wasted, and we still have these defenders up above. Matty, though, he doesn't really care. Just charges in. Macy as well has full knowledge that J Prison is still up there. It's up to Madrino holding that hatch. You had success before. Can't emulate it in E-Wave. They've just done it. They've broken through that defense by just wandering in, forcing minions to get aggressive and just taking full advantage of it. A great round as Dipsy finishes off the round.
E-Wave have done exceptionally well there, Pooba. I mean, from what we've seen in the previous 2 or 3 rounds, you know, they were getting picked off one by one, and they've done the complete polar opposite now. They've been the ones picking off minions one by one, isolating the 1v1s, isolating the 2v1s, and having an incredible refrag potential. And they have done that to a textbook degree, and just well played by them. And they do get that. It does reflect on the score that they do get their second round on the board, only 1 round away from tying it up, and we could be seeing here, Pooble, a 3-3 split.
Yeah, and a 3-3 will be so good for E-Wave there, because it seemed like a half that Minions have kind of won quite convincingly. That first loss in round 2, I believe, it was a very sort of close round that went the way of E-Wave. So Minions, they have looked quite confident here, so getting a 3-3 half, not only good for Oregon, because that does just sort of tend to favour 50-50 on the attack and defense, but it also just for the overall momentum of the match, it seems like it is a good thing for E-Wave here, but it's something to get it, as Maxi, unfortunately, he's finally picked onto an operator he's already played before, onto this Nomad. They're once again doubling up with this flank denial, which makes sense with how aggressive Minions have been and how willing they've been to linger down below. So that definitely sort of fits into the Minions playstyle, but they still didn't actively anticipate it with their guns up. Sure, they brought the utility, but too many of those E-Wave players were falling to Minions players just sitting below. Hooverboard, though, he does fall and gets taken down by XC, the flank watch operator themselves. So already a good start for E-Wave here as they're looking to even it out.
Yeah, we've got to mention as well, Pooble, another operator to add to Macy's plateau, I think it's called. He is picked up the Nomad, but it doesn't matter as XC does also get taken down as well. Refrag. And we're back to a 4 versus 4 as they have taken definitely have taken Attic and are going to proceed to try and take that control as fast and as efficiently as possible, trying to get through to pit. But they are aware of the player playing below, potentially going for the flank. Little do they know he's actually all the way over in kitchen. Isn't able to get over, as they do have the flank watch. Well, they don't have the flank watch anymore of the gridlock, but Nomad still very much in play, still very much able to watch those flanks. The question is, has she got an air jab on the tower stairs to watch the flank while they walk up into Attic? They are still yet to do so, though, as the mute is playing with the M590 up close, that's a recipe for disaster. One, maybe even two kills coming out here as the Maverick is going to swing. Takes an incredible amount of damage, isn't yet to fall. Now does to Mad Rhino, but E-Wave in the single man disadvantage. 3 versus 4. Sorry, they do have the main breach open, have retrieved the defuse. Display though, alone, the lone man on Master side. Dex evens out the man advantage. Some shots taken onto the cross of Elisa, and it's forcing her to move off. Nomad still remains in Attic and is still aware of the mute position, is forced to drop the hatch.
I'm not sure if Maxi meant to do that because he's instantly sort of rotating back to those tower stairs. The breach open though, but Eli, he's holding such a tight angle here. Dipsy though does get one and brings the favor towards E-Wave, but those magnets have been so detrimental to the attack. It's all on Eli though. 1 versus 3 as Maxi gets another one to prison, and Eli gets taken down by Maxi. So E-Wave, they've done it. They've gotten that 3-3 half despite some really questionable rounds, and now as they go into their defense, they've got quite a bit of momentum behind them.
They most certainly do, Poobal. The momentum is behind E-Wave so far. They had a rough start. They brought it back to a 3-3 split, and I'm now excited to see them on the defense. What they can bring to the table, what cards they can play, what can they do overall against this side of Minions? Yes, we're on Minions' worst map in Stage 2, but nonetheless, that shouldn't change the fact that they still have to play their A game. They are bringing the mirror, which we did see previously, but they are also bringing the Warden with the M590 in hand, the shotgun that is globally complained about amongst the Siege community, but nonetheless, he still brought it. I call that a smart decision.
I'd imagine Dex wants to play something like Elbow, because
possibly.
Right, let's not sugarcoat it. The ability to see through smokes is nice. Everyone plays Warden for that 1.5 times scope on the MPX. It just makes your job really easy. It's easy mode. It's like, have you ever played Donkey Kong? It's the Funky Kong mode. It makes everything super easy, basically. So he's clearly going to play some kind of sort of tight, fairly boxed-in location. So I would imagine Elbow, because they're in the basement. But still, it's going to be difficult, and if he is forced into a long-range engagement, he's likely going to be on that SMG-12, so that's not the most consistent weapon, so Dex could really be caught out here if he gets dislodged from his initial position. Exy, though, getting very aggressive small tower. Doesn't get anyone, but a little bit of drone economy damage isn't too bad, as they only actually got 5 left in the round.
Drone economy is everything for the attacking side, especially on Oregon. You need to be utilizing as much information as you possibly can get, but we do see the attacking side of Minions picking up the Jackal to just bring that extra bit of utility alongside the drones, alongside the Gemini clones, and it doesn't matter because I've cast Curtain once more. Exy does take down the Jackal on the side of Minions, but instant refrag onto Alex with an incredible shot. That's your multi taken off the board. No more being able to move the defenders or the attackers' drones around that you have claimed. The P10 Roni also dropped the P shooter with an incredibly stupid fire rate. It's been taken down, but kills in quick succession. Hoverboard finds 2. That's your mirror and your Legion off the board. Still, the 2 shotgun players remain, the M590 and the TCSG players, the Goyo and the Warden, Dex and Matty. One more comes out, no claims. Dex, Hoverboard, signs the 3rd, potentially looking to find the 4th. As the Goyo looks to walk down Laundry, TCSG in hand, suppressed TCSG in hand, may I add, increasing that recoil ever so slightly. Isn't aware of the Iana, who is playing on T2 on the mid floor of the tower stairs, is looking to potentially walk down, to potentially make life ever so harder for Matty, and does get the sound call of the shots looking onto the E-box door or the pillar door. He's going to try and catch anybody he can find out, and yet to find anyone with only a minute left of the round, and he is the only one left He is the only one that can do it. Drops the hatch, an impact grenade goes down. Hoverboard finds the 4K, finds the 4th of the round. And Minions get 1 back.
Yeah, against a setup of 1.5 times SMGs, Hoverboard, the good, honest 2 times rifleman, goes in, just clears out the site. We saw firsthand there, Dex wasn't able to take that gunfight because it was at just too long a range. He couldn't use the shotgun, misses those crucial SMG-12 shots, and Hoverboard just takes him out. Great play from the Thatcher that round, just taking the initiative, getting those picks, really just opening up the site for the whole of the team. But also great play from E-Wave for still playing cautiously, taking their time despite such a good advantage. For instance, if Eli went through that E-box, he would have dropped that diffuser, and that could have put them in a really bad situation despite being so high up in man count. So really good play from them, just not taking that as a round 1 until they actually see those words on those screen. They're still playing very carefully, and that's a mistake a lot of teams make. So good to see E-Wave still staying in that good form, getting that Minions, sorry, I've said E-Wave like 3 times now. Minions. I've clearly not caught up with the half swap yet. Great play from Minions there, though. Really good sort of... it's not restrictive. They're playing with discipline when they're in that advantage, and that was something that a lot of teams lack.
One thing I am liking about this side of E-Wave is the adaptability of the roster. Obviously, we've made the joke that Macy is picking every other operator under the sun. He's playing one new operator every single round. But that really shows the adaptability of the team, and in this day of age of Siege, adaptability is key. XC, though, does take down the knock of on the side of Minions, and it's going to make that ever so harder, as now 2 of your grenades are off the board. And then a huge entry player as well, completely off the board. It's only the Iana that is able to get that early information and be able to take that map control. It is the only entry player remaining. 1 grenade goes out onto Zulu. Doesn't find any damage, though, as the Goyo player of XC has moved away.
Yeah, good news for Minions there is they still have those 2 other sets of nades, but with so much stopping them, like these magnets, like this shield, they can't afford to liberally throw them around. There's going to be decisions made whether or not they try and risk it for these vertical kills or just use for utility denial. Hoverboard, though, just takes matters in his own hands again, charges in, gets 1 onto that Wamai player, clearing out trophy. Got a couple of angles to watch here, though, so he needs support from the rest of his team just to lock down the position as Prison. He's taking, seems to be long-range damage from somewhere as Macy just charges in, does secure the kill there. Great play from him as Deck doubles up, gets another. Minions now on the back foot, 2 versus 3, as things just go catastrophically wrong for them in that mid-round.
Macy with an incredible swing finds one to the hands of the M590 once more. He does take down 1, instantly refrag, claimed by Alex, the AK-12 of the Ace. And it's all up to Alex still in the 1 versus 2. I don't know. The Frost versus the Frost does take some damage. The Valkyrie, sorry, takes some damage. The Frost to fall, though, to Alex once more. It's all up to Dex. The MPX versus the AK-12, and Dex claims it.
It's another clutch that's sort of stopped at that corner. It's such a difficult place to read. There's 2 angles at harsh 180 degrees apart from each other you've got to check. And once again, the attacker just reads wrong, and E-Wave, after such a dominant sort of mid-round position there, they were about to fall at the final hurdle, but luckily, thanks to the heroics of Dex there on the Valkyrie, not using that Warden shotgun this time, they get that final pick, win the round as we're going back down to Laundry, and Dex, he's on Warden again, this time using that 1.5 times scope, going for the sort of easier gunfights here, and you can't really blame him. Incredibly strong operator there with those tools in hand, and we would likely see a bit more defense at site here to stop Hoverboard from just charging in like he did last time. Mirror being brought here, Goyo brought again, maybe not with a TCSG either, because that also seemed to slightly hinder Matty's abilities later on in the round, as they're just going for more sort of default picks with their weapons, because if it ain't broke, why really fix it? Just use those SMGs, get that high DPS out, Siege is that one-hit headshot mechanic, abuse it, like everyone should do really. You should be picking high rate of fire guns. No one's going to punish you for doing it. It's just the meta. Just do it. Don't try and be different for the sake of being different, using things like TCSGs, and you've already got the utility from that mirror. Just use your SMGs, get into those gunfights, because like, when you're against minions, you need to fight that aggression with aggression.
Remember, we are thick into the TDM meta, So just bringing those guns that can do damage will win the rounds eventually. May not work first, second, or third time, but most certainly will work eventually. Hoverboard picking up the L8 once again off the Thatcher and the 2-time scope on it. Question is he going to be able to charge in this once? No, he's not going to be able to charge in this once, but XC is taken down and he is going to be revived, put back to 20 HP. Hoverboard, though, we say he wasn't going to charge in and he's looking to maybe do so, shooting drones. Mozzie swings and says no to Hoverboard. Macy takes down Hoverboard, the Thatcher. That is a crucial kill to start things off, as he's the only operator that can get rid of that wall denial, and now no longer can.
Yeah, Madrina there getting very lucky. I think the final shot he ended up firing just clipped that C4 midair. He would have been dead otherwise. He cooks a nade, trying to respond with a bit of explosives, but similarly no kill there. The players are going to have to get very careful with their drones on these stairs to try and avoid these paths. We might even see Eli just wait for his teammate to sacrifice their drone in, take it out, and get a little bit more intel. But still, minions, they're very sort of boxed in here almost. A lot of them playing towards that tower stairs. A lot of pressure clearly on them. They're managing to slowly get through their sort of regular tasks, you know, opening that supply hatch, but still, a lot of utility and bodies wasted. Hoverboard, that star player for them this match, taken down early, only a little bit of damage exchanged onto the landmine, but he's still up, he's still gaining those discs, and that's the real big problem. As Prison has another problem, he's downed and far away from many opponents as Alex is going to try and charge in. He does dodge that nitro, but a plant here would be very risky, if not impossible. But his team, they're slowly picking things up. They get what a beautiful kill from Alex between the bomb there. 3 versus 3, you can do it, but Matty says no.
An amazing kill from the Habana of Alex, but yet he cannot find one more, isn't able to be claimed, and it goes to the 2 versus 2, 2 versus 1, as the sledge is yet to be picked up, but is now picked up by his teammates. The F2 claims one more. Dispy is taken down, and now it's all up to the single man of Dex, the Warden, the MPX versus the F2, and he does claim it. What is happening here? It's back and forth, 1-1-1-1, kill after kill after kill in quick succession. What has happened here?
It's just such a close matchup there, really. And these two teams, they've played each other so much, you can tell they just know the ins and outs of their opponents. Just going 1 for 1, as you said here. E-Wave clutching up at the very end, but it looked so close. You've got to give credit to Alex Norley there. He just took the initiative, charged into sight, dodged that nitro cell, got a beautiful kill onto the mirror, I believe it was, through the bomb chassis and the shelf there. Incredible. Just remarkable play. But still, it was all for nothing at the end of the day. If you don't win that round, you gain nothing really from it. Good highlight play, but we're not counting highlights as round wins here. They're still down a round now. And potentially, this might be the first time all map that Minions have actually been in the back seat in terms of these round counts. I believe they got that first round up, and ever since then it was kind of even up until that final half where it went to 3-3 after 2 rounds from E-Wave. So this could be a bit of a different look for Minions here if they're now playing from the back seat, as they're still on this attack that has achieved mixed results so far. Eli onto the sledge this time, whereas Hoverboard onto the Yana. They've thoroughly just acknowledged he's having a great game and he's been moved onto his entry role as Prison goes onto the Thatcher instead.
Well, Macy to pick up one more operator to add to his collection of who he can play. Picked up the Mozzie this round, and well, it's just one more. I think he definitely is going for an ESA record. How many operators can one man play in one best of one match? Nonetheless, so let's see what he can do on this Mozzie with a P10 Brony in hand, and he shut me up nice and quickly. Hoverboard taken down within 30 seconds of the round, claimed by Macy. And another shot! Macy, he takes him down! What a shot! Macy says, pack your luggage, go home, packed and sent. Mad Rhino taken down. That's your What Flank Watch. That's your Gridlock off the board. This is Macy's round, and it's only been a minute.
Yeah, E-Wave in a great spot here, 5 versus 3 on that defense. They've still got a lot of operators throughout the map, particularly Dipsy here on that Thorn with the shotgun, likely to be playing close on these stairs, and if Minions don't check this, they could very easily fall victim. They think that this basement should probably be clear, as Makesy was going for just a great escape throughout it. But yeah, no drone going down there. I think potentially Dipsy here could get a freebie with that shotgun. It is a very risky play here. There's no real opportunity for them to play at a high range. That machine pistol that Thorn has, notoriously poor for its iron sights, very difficult to see things. It's all imprisoned here. Does he take the initiative and play? But elsewhere, Alex gets taken down above. There's so many angles from the check, so many E-Wave players. 1 versus 4 now. Macy just continues getting picks. Prison now, a different Thatcher player, once again marching into sight, takes down 1. Can he get any more? Holding this green corridor, no. Dipsy on that shotgun takes him out, and suddenly E-Wave, they've managed to get themselves to match point with 2 opportunities remaining.
Can we rewind? Macy, what was that? Not only has he then found 1, he's ran back down into basement to try and retreat, met by 1 more, and has absolutely sent him home.
He's the hyperflex. He is the hyperflex.
You know what? No, I'm done. He's picked up the clash. It's
well,
over.
Yeah. Okay, look at it this way. What if he does the 360? He's just adding more highlights to his clip reel here. You know, Rostermania is continuous on the console scene. He's got to get those cool clips out there.
You know what, Boo? I will do you a bet. Now the stream can't see this, but I have probably about half a glass worth of a drink left.
We don't promote gambling here, by the way. We don't promote gambling on the ESA.
We do not promote, but if he does the 360 thing,
when
the cans come back on, I will down this live on camera.
On camera. Okay.
On camera.
We need to clear up. He's saying drink as if it's alcohol. It's like Pepsi Max.
No, it's Pepsi.
Yeah, it would not be a great achievement, but I'll take you up on that. No. The very real situation. He just plays Clash normally because E-Wave have been very good at just playing disciplined here. Macy might just be deciding, okay, we've noticed that minions are playing a little bit aggressive, maybe playing a little bit tilted. We'll just play the Clash. We'll send their mental into the Shadow realm. Just keep annoying them with this Operator. Along with that Azami and the Smoke as well. They just want to bully them. And Madrino says, okay, I'll respond right back. Gets that nade kill, opening up the thing as Alex Northy has a bit of trouble with the repel there.
Well, an opening kill within a minute of the round. Well, I think we know how this is going to go, Pooball. I think this is going to be a very frag-heavy round. We are off the Kids Storm. As you can see, we are on top floor, and there's a very heavy trophy presence from the head hold and through the deployable shield that's now been shot. Nonetheless, though, 3 of the minions players are on this armory hallway, and 3 quick kills in quick succession, and 1 more. Macy isn't going to get a look at the Clash. He found himself taken down. Dex to follow him up, joining him 6 foot under. The M590 on close range though by Dispy, who does find 1. Finds the second, finds the third. He's on his triple. It's a 1 versus 1. Mad Rhino versus Display. The SMG11 versus the G36C. The Iana versus the Smoke. What can happen here? Still 1 Toxic Babe in hand, with the diffuser in hand for Mad Rhino in probably the better position here. And it's all going to slow right down as it is the 1 versus 1. The final Toxic Babe to go out. Dispy, though, does have the HP disadvantage as drones are going out. Mad Rhino is aware of his position. Shotgun out once again, going to be playing onto the rotate, maybe looking to catch him out on the head holes. No, moves away. Bulletproof camera, making him aware of position, and a headshot to shut Dispy down.
Yeah, that's
for 1 more round.
That's rough. That's got to be rough. That the shotgun usually so potent, a lot of ranges there with the pellets, but just too quick on the trigger there for the Yana, just taking him down. It was a really good attempt, but the good thing for E-Wave here is they have another chance. They've still got 1 more attempt to send this towards overtime and avoid a lot more hassle in those overtime rounds. Once again, Macy on the Clash. Didn't really work out last time. A bit confused as to why we're continuing this, but the man's 10-7. I guess we just let him do what he wants. We'd like to see him get... I guess Basement also would sort of play more into the clashes. There are a lot more confined spaces. You can potentially trap some attackers, force them into really uncomfortable situations here. But again, you could sort of do that with something with a gun, you know? Like, Macy has shown to be incredible on something like the Mozzie, when the Mozzie has sort of been a permanent pick in any round here. But he's on the Clash, and that could really sort of be the thing that Minions need to go over the edge and get onto this match point. At the same time, though, potentially could have a big impact this round. Just because it's a rare operator doesn't mean that there aren't instances where it could have a lot of value, and Macy might show us just that as E-Wave. They're still going to be on a mostly bunker defense, still just hunting drones early round, providing a little bit of a nuisance at the start, just halting the attackers from getting in as Dex, as I imagine. Once he gets into one engagement, he's going to peel back here.
Is going to move back to site, not wanting to overextend himself and risk the body. As you can see, it is match point for E-Wave. They don't want to risk any more. Matty is going to be playing behind the Clash of Macy here, and it's a little bit of team damage maybe. No team damage actually. Onto the side of Macy. Macy is playing outside. He is going to be getting that info of the whereabouts of the Minions. Players is going to look away for just a second, and that could have killed him. But no, he's still on the drones, and the drones are going to make him aware of what is happening, of what the situation is. Hoverboard on the Ash is going to be getting the yellow pings for the Iana, who is going to throw a frag grenade, and is going to take some HP off of Macy. No. I thought that grenade would kill him there, but no. Clash in full effect, denying any entry into the building. Some shots are taken, but Matty is saved by the Clash, and 2 kills, 1 via the impact, 1 with a headshot, and it puts E-Wave 2 steps closer to taking the map.
Yeah, questions have to be asked there if Minions should have just up and left. There's plenty of other avenues into sight. Oregon has those 4 separate entry points to get a lot of map control fairly early. Minions really should have just up and left because that's such a difficult sort of position to dislodge. Eli potentially masking that drop down with the nade. I'm going to give him credit for that, but maybe it was just an honest mistake as Maxi just holding that angle with the SMG out, gets the shield out as Matty eventually notices and gets that kill. 2 versus 5, E-Wave on the brink of victory here as Macy once again gets that shield back up, just stalling the attack a bit more. Matty does fall to prison, but still a lot of work for these last 2 Minions players.
Most definitely, Pooble. A lot of work to be done, a lot of work that still can be done. Moving into the final 45 seconds, it is the Thatcher of Prison and the Hibana of Alex, the 2 Minions players that remain. However, they do still have the mirror on the board on the side of E-Wave, and those mirrors are going to be in full effect moving into these last couple rounds, but they aren't aware of the player that is moving into Laundry, and this could cost them dearly. And the Clash is there. The Clash of Macy is coming into full effect. Dex takes him down and puts E-Wave just 1 step closer to Prison. Hang on, finds 1, finds 2, but an impact grenade to kill him, to confirm him. E-Wave take the round and match.
Yeah, it was a close one. As we said, these teams, they just know each other so much that it was likely going to be a very close affair, but E-Wave managed to get away with it in Regulation 2, and it's just an incredible sort of thing for them right there. They've clearly done their homework. They've got a couple of pocket strats like the Clash, and honestly, props to Macy for picking so many operators that match and making the vast majority of them work. Incredible play from him there. Gets a lot of crucial kills. Although he didn't actually drop any bodies in that final round, he's responsible for 3 of those 5 kills there just with that Clash utility. So really, just fair play to them, fair play to E-Wave. They continue that little win streak they've got building, but commiserations to Minions as their losses they just keep on coming. They're going down to that final sort of bracket in the Swiss stage. They're not eliminated yet, but next week, I believe, that's when Judgment Day comes to them. They will be forced to fight against another opponent in that best of 3. Yeah. Win, they go through to those finals just at the very end. Lose, and they're out. Really high pressure for these vice champions of last stage.
Minions continue their losing streak then, Pooh, on Oregon. That losing streak doesn't go to 2, but ups itself to 1, and it is now 3. And as you said, it is Judgment Day for them next week. But GG to both teams. Congratulations to E-Wave for progressing into the playoffs. And, well, unfortunately, we will be seeing Minions in the elimination phase. But we have one more match for you tonight, which will be here after a quick 5-10 minute break to give myself and Pooh just a bit of a rest. So we'll see you back here after the break in 10 minutes. We are back for just one more time this evening for our final map of the evening. It is Team Misclick versus Tracker Clan. I am still your cast of Velocity. Joining me is Pooble. Pooble, how are we doing for this final map?
Well, that was a bit of an interesting Oregon match there. I don't think anyone can really call it Boregan between Minions and E-Wave. E-Wave picking up the win in 7-5 fashion and continuing that little win streak they've got building up. And overall, yeah, they heard people complain about Oregon and they were like, we're going to put on a show. A lot of unconventional strategies being brought in, but enough about that. Final match of the night, Misclick versus Tracker Clan. And Tracker Clan, they're kind of continuing this almost Cinderella run they've got for them. They started off by beating Project 100 despite only getting into the Swiss stage through having an invite because we lost a couple of teams during that initial break between groups and Swiss. Tracker Clan made it in just due to their score and their map differential, I believe. And since then, they've managed to stay in these high bracket Swiss sort of groups, I guess. They're one match away from getting to the finals here, and it's a best of one as well. So they don't even need sort of that deep of a map pool or that deep of strategies. They can just win this best of one, get to those quarterfinals. And that would be just incredible for them, just given the sort of story they've come from.
Yeah, I've got to agree. And obviously, as you said, this is obviously they win this, they go to the finals. Obviously, there is a safety net blown. They are still able to progress to the finals if they drop to the elimination stage, although it is extremely hard to do so. You know, we've seen some big upsets today. We've seen Project 100 drop down into the elimination stage. We've seen Minions drop down to the elimination stage, which came second in season 5. Big teams down there. And, it's what we like to see. We do like to see some underdog story. But let's not worry about the playoffs right now, Pooble. Let's look at our map plans. Our map for this final match of this evening is, in fact, Bank. A map that I personally very much like in competitive play.
Yeah, Bank is kind of unique because it has just such a large, wide open floor span. You need to be very good on your sort of roam clears. You also need to be sort of good on knowing where to clear and where to just sort of forego any kind of offensive activity because you really will just run out of time if you try and clear everything. So it's either going to favor good drone work, it's going to favor Dakaibi, so we could likely see Dakaibi get banned there just to make it a little bit more of a time commitment by the attackers to go through. And it's in that almost niche set of maps where although they aren't in picked loads like your Oregon, like your Clubhouse, it's still picked quite a lot. We're still seeing like double-digit plays, at least for teams like Misclick. They've played it quite a bit, 7-5, so they are slightly ahead of it, but quite a few losses on it as well. So it will be. I'm quite intrigued to see how both these teams will approach this matchup because bank matches, they seem like quite a lot. They can be quite one-sided. If one team really has as good sort of timings, good discipline, they will just run away with it. And if a team doesn't have that, they could really just crumble.
One thing we also have to note about Bank is it is such a big map, and there is so much potential for weird and wonderful plays on Bank. You can see some of the greatest Pro League plays on Bank, some of the greatest Tier 4 plays, Tier 3, Tier 2 plays, whatever, on Bank, or we could see it, as you said, could be completely one-sided in a Team 7-0. It's such a versatile map, and it's so open to different playstyles. Passive playstyles, aggressive playstyles, whether you want to play vertical, whether you want to play bunker, you kind of get the gist of things, and it's really good. I really am excited to see this bank match.
Yeah, I think we should go into the community vote because this is really quite an interesting matchup. You'd think, given circumstances, that Misclick should be quite favored as they actually qualified her. But Tracker Clan, they've really gained a little bit of a fan base here, 60-40, and the stats kind of back it up. In another league, I believe it was RSX, they actually lost 2-0 to Tracker Clan Misclick. They were just completely dominated in that best of 3. So really, Tracker Clan have got quite a bit of wind in their sails here. They could really go on and make that upset, make that finals after not even initially qualifying for the Swiss stage.
Yeah, I mean, we have to remember as well, people, obviously, like we said, Bank is one of those maps. It can be one-sided completely. So we have to obviously remember it is such a big map. It's such a widely ranged map that this can go either way despite previous results. I have to say, I haven't seen much of Tracker Clan. I've seen a lot of Team Misclick.
Yeah. Misclick are very much one of those
So moving into
sort
this,
of dominant teams just throughout the whole scene.
yeah.
They
So moving
appear in
into,
a lot of tournaments.
I'm favouring Misclicker. I won't lie to you.
I'm favouring Tracker Clan. I believe in it. I believe in the story. I believe they can go on and do it. They can make this finals appearance. And even if they do stumble today, if they don't quite make it, they've still got that safety net, as we said. If we can just bring up the Swiss system, they still have those final sort of elimination matchups, which will be best of 3. And we've seen that they have actually thrived quite a lot in these best of 3 situations here. Their map pool is clearly quite deep. They can clearly go all the way. So it's very much a real possibility that Tracker Clan makes it to those final 8 teams, I believe, in the playoffs. Or the finals,
it is very, very, very possible. But it is also very possible we've seen Team Misclick get this. This can just go either way. I'm hoping Team Misclick do it, but I mean, from what you've told me, and from what the community vote says and all the stats, Tracker Clan have a very good run in this so far, and may have a very, very, very good chance of moving into those finals.
Yeah, they really do, and it's really just it's a great story. We love our narratives running throughout tournaments, and I think it really is just if they do make it, it would be incredible. It really would. The fact that it's a team that just stumbled at the very last minute in those groups, couldn't make it, had a bit of a poor performance early on, and they've gone through this resurgence, not just their ESA, but through other neighboring tournaments. It would be a great story for them just to make the finals and even potentially get further into it. But I think before we get to there, we have to actually get through this bank match, and I believe it's just about ready to go here, as I'm hearing anyway. So I think we'll get to that in just a moment.
I mean, I am excited. People, I want your outright. Obviously, you said you're favoring Tracker Clan.
Oh, you want a number? You want a round number?
I want a round number. I want a score number.
7-4. 7-4 Tracker Clan.
7-4. You really don't have that much. You don't have that much faith in Team Misclick.
The numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't.
And they spelled disaster for Misclick. So
bold statements, Booble. But yeah, I agree.
7-4.
Numbers do not lie. I mean, I personally, I'm not gonna make a round prediction because
no, you're gonna make a round prediction. You're gonna you can't put me on the spot.
You know what?
You
are
gonna predict rounds.
I think 7-6. I think we're seeing overtime.
7-6. You mean 8-6?
8-6.
There we go. Okay.
I knew what I meant in my head. Leave me alone. But 8-6.
Overtime. I know 7-6. We're going with for velocity here. The mythical scoreline. Anyway, on to the bans.
We'll
I think we're probably going to be seeing. Wow. Okay, Monty bans straight away here, likely aimed just to curb those roam clears we were talking about, force more of a time investment. Monty as well can be very good at just sneaking in a plant in those basement position, that basement site. So just getting rid of him off the board, a multitude of extra steps for the attack to take care. So it could definitely make their job much harder.
Most definitely, and also remember, Monty is so useful on that basement site, on that CC site. He can come from dirt and can just cause so many issues. Not to follow up though as the second and final attacking ban, and well, need we say more? She is so good on this map.
Yeah, it's so big, so naturally an operator that can just slink through cameras, but it's a little bit more quiet, and also has that lethal utility. It's just going to be so good because there aren't enough defenders to actually watch all those areas. Solus, though, another operator that's really good at watching out for people, taking off the board. Drones might slip into more positions now. The attack are going to have a little bit more of a chance to actually drone out the whole building, get a bit more intel on where the defenders are without that Solus pinging them out. And Clash, quite interestingly, is that final ban there. Maybe again, just designed at helping the attack a bit, and a Clash would naturally slow down an attacking force. So you just want to make it a little bit easier, ban out the Clash. I honestly can't, off the top of my head, think of any site sort of uses, like any go-to uses for a Clash on this map. So it might be a bit of a target ban at the side of Misclick if they have some kind of Clash trap they like bringing out that Tracker Clan just don't want to deal with. But it is certainly an interesting ban as we go up to this top floor initially.
we're seeing Thunderbird being brought, and Thunderbird I see quite a lot in the console sort of leagues. It's now been phased out as more operators have just gotten that better fragging power, like your Warden, even like something like your Mozzie, like your Thorn particularly now has got that 1.5, more teams are trying that out. Thunderbird has that consistent long-range sort of AR you can take fights with, particularly thinking you could play all the way back around this sort of office area, and you can even take fights onto the top square through lines of sight if you have that AR. It's going to be a lot easier for you, doing more damage per shot. It certainly has its usage here, but it's a bit of a blast from the past almost, as we've seen this meta evolve so much over recent times.
Yeah, I mean, and again, the meta is always changing, and obviously that does then just really come down to which team has more adaptability, which team is more flexible, and Bank is a map all about adaptability. Which, again, if you don't have the adaptability on a roster, Bank really is not your map. Likewise, if you have very good adaptability on a roster, you definitely want to be playing Bank, because it's, again, a versatile map. Drones are going out though, are finding utility that being placed down by tracker clads, some Valkyrie cams, some WAMI discs, and they are going to cause some, or they may cause some issues later on into the round, so the quicker they can clear those out, the better. Osa being picked up already in top square, placing down one of her shields, and is going to now try and cause some issues, but cast the Curster right off the board. Alex takes down Konski. Osa, no more Osa shield to them today.
Yeah, I was going to say Konski can really provide a lot of pressure onto the site here with those shields, but he doesn't get taken out. At the very least, his shield remains as Nui gets in a very scrappy gunfight with Alex there. The Osa shield still being at those lines of sight can certainly provide a little bit of an extra angle for the attack here, but only one of them on the board. It means the defense only have to avoid a single line of sight. That being said, it is the most important here. It's very deep, as Will gets another pick here, so Nui, he's actually forced to get a lot closer to the wall here, doesn't have that protection of the shield, and he's on such low HP. He's in a very difficult and risky situation. It doesn't seem like any attackers are really going to go for that Osa shield, so Konski's sort of parting gift is in vain as Will gets another on this rappel.
Will with a great shot and terrain bullets from the 8K12 into the head of, I believe that was the Thunderbird. Can't remember exactly who, but we are going to see a post-plan situation here, Pooble. Within the first round, it's a 2 versus 4, to 4 versus 1 now as Solo claims his 1 and is yet to find the Echo, who is now going to have to play for frags. It doesn't even find his 1 as Will takes him out, finds his 3rd of the round. 3K to kick things off in a post-plant as well.
Yeah, Team Mystic just did it all that round, really. What can you say? They got a lot of kills. They got that plant down. They got sort of walls open. They got map control. It was really just good play from Team Mystic, despite Konski eating that very early death. So maybe you'd expect to see him play a little bit more disciplined this time, actually place that second shield down, because Osa can be such a nuisance to the defenders, especially if they're lacking in impact nades. And as we see, it's only Badu on that Wama if he has them. Sure, you could waste a Nitro cell, but you'd really want to deny that plant. I think what I really want to see in this round is more active Echo play there from Dayuko. You could even have done something, say, like stun that Osa, to be honest. You could really force the attackers to spend a lot more time here, but it seemed like he was playing mostly passive with those gadgets, just sitting in the elevator. Didn't see even an attempt to deny the plant. You can't really blame him there. He was in something like a 2 versus 5 with plenty of time remaining, but still, maybe drone out your roamers, because that's a more popular style of play we've seen with the Echo recently, pioneered by pro players like Deepak, who won sort of trophies and majors just by being more proactive with an operator. So maybe Yuko just needs to be a little bit more aggressive with that utility.
Yeah, Echo drones are now becoming more of an active part in roaming. Obviously, as you said, you drone the roamers via them, not just sit them on site anymore. And, well, that is something the Echo should probably be trying to do. We do see a Flores in play, though, courtesy of Solo. Picking them up is going to be used to get rid of these deployable shields, to get rid of barbed wire, and also IQ being picked up by Nui as well, who is going to be able to locate any bit of util that the defenders, have brought, such as the Valkyrie cameras, such as the Echo drones, and they are going to be able to destroy them. Alex taken down. losing the opening gunfight to the Osa of Konski, who isn't dead this once. He finds his revenge onto the man that took him down the first. Will finds one more, though. It is the Thunderbird off the board. And does also successfully get to one of the walls open, which is going to make Team Misclick's life so harder. We see one shield go down in the exact same spot as previously, yet Konski is yet to play behind it, and he's not going to do so. He is going to try and find his frag. He is going to try and push into Janitor to try and find one, yet to find someone known as the beeper that is going to give away his position. He does find one at the castle off the board. Konski finds his 2k, his double off the round, looking to try and find the third. Budo does find himself taken down by Nui, and the Echo left in the 1 versus 4 once again in the same position. Is going to find one more. That's Pizza off the board. Can't find the third. Nui takes him down.
Yeah, and it was a better round from Tracker Clan that time. They got a couple more picks there, but still, they mostly just looked a bit lost on the defense, to be honest. We saw Konski able to just slip in through Janitor. The Beeper gave away his position. There was a clear response coming in from Meeting, but the player by those double windows just had no idea he would be there. He was completely taken off guard. I get it. There's 2 or 3 breaches on those main walls to watch, but still, when you have that active intel of someone in Janitor, you need to change accordingly, change your plan, change your position, change your crosshair placement. And that was something that just didn't come out from Tracker Clan. And great utility usage from Misclick as well was another big part of that round. Seeing things just as simple as using those Florist drones to deal with those puzzle barricades, because a lot of teams would just bring breaching charges just to place the barricade, but no. They get 2 of them with 1 Florist drone. It was incredible just usage of utility there, making the most of everything they have, and it was very much clearly scared Tracker into going down to basement now. They don't want to potentially lose their 3rd upstairs. They're trying something new, bringing out this Pulse, which is interesting, getting a lot of intel, although there's not a lot of potential really for vertical kills with the Pulse. You're likely going to be just spotting out roamers and spotting out potential plant attempts from the safety of something like the Gold Vault. But again, it's just a shaky start from Tracker Clan, and it's kind of represented by 3 of them just going 0-0-2. There's not a lot of value being found by a lot of these members, and that really needs to change if they stand a chance here.
I agree. It's a completely shaky start, and these mistakes need to be ironed out within the next round, maybe 2, as a C4 from below comes out and takes down Pizza. That's the Amaru off the board, the one that was trying to go quite quickly, take the top floor control. Denied, shut down, no longer to be seen in this round. That will make you think twice before jumping into a window without being droned. Onto the CC site, though. This was, remember, we were saying that that Monty ban must be directly related to this and clearing off the roam clear. And well, without this Monty, Team Misclick are struggling. Alex does find Konski off the board. This is a battle for trades. These 2 first round, Konski was taken down by Alex. Second round, it was the reverse, and we're back to Alex taking down Konski once more. As we now get the hatches open with only 1 minute and 50 left on the clock, the Execute is starting to come together a little bit, despite having 2 members of Team Misclick dead and no longer being able to play this round. They do still have the hard breach of Will the Thatcher. Thermite, sorry, what am I waffling? The Thermite on the board with the Diffuser in hand still do have 2 smoke grenades in hand additionally. However, what can Tracker Clan do with 1 C4 in pocket?
One crucial thing here with this Tracker Clan defense, though, is you see that Cloud with the TCSG, you would expect him to play super long range back from the garage here. That's not the case. He's actually a lot closer, and that does give the attack an opportunity to actually get a much more sort of reliable kill onto him, so he has to be a bit more careful not to play that long angle. Alex as well rotated all the way back. He's just going to play thoroughly for planting out there, but he has to aim those canisters carefully. It's not like the smoke grenade with the big, long area of effect. Smoke grenade's also being brought here. They're layering that area down together. Maybe you want to see Smoke wait a little bit longer, as there's still more time on the clock than he can actually deny here. But with the Molotovs as well, there's nothing to worry about as long as Alex's shots actually hit that mark. And it's forced these Misclick players to rotate around onto White Stairs to actually get one onto Badoom. Balmai goes down. Nui certainly has a chance here to bail them out, because he could cause a lot of problems for these operators that are denying the plant, like this Smoke, like this Chanka. There's no more utility coming out, as Solo gets another one. They're going to get this plant down, and Misclick might end up winning this round after all.
So 3 versus 2, Poobor, 2 versus 2 as Nui finds himself taken down. And it is that post-plant situation. Everything is going to slow right down. The defenders become the attackers become the defenders. It's a complete role swap as we move on to the final 25 seconds. -7 to get that diffuser down. Will finds one, and it's all going to go in the way of Team Misclick here. I think Booble, the stakes have stacked up, and Will claims him to give them the round.
Yeah, it was the kind of it was a great first. It was a great play from Nui going down White Stairs. It all hinged on that 50-50 gunfight with the Wamai, which he ultimately won. But there you really see the issue with having both the Tachanka and the smoke. Both of them were fully focused on dealing with that plant, and then there was a bit of, I guess, miscommunication because suddenly neither of them were focused on the plant. They were suddenly all had their attention on White Stairs. There was no trust in their teammates to deal with it, and that allowed Will to just slink his way in, get that plant down, and cause a whole lot of chaos for Tracker here. Once that plant's down, Misclick basically win that round. No real chance for a comeback there. They're going back downstairs again, bringing both the Chanka and the smoke once again, but no Kaya this time. Opting with that Mozzie, no pulse either. They're getting a lot more aggressive, it seems like, just opting for those better weapons. Could have mixed results. That opening kill was really down to the fact that the pulse had the intel upstairs. They're going to be going purely for sound, I'd imagine, if they don't actually run up there themselves. So it's an interesting response here, but I'm not sure it's going to work. It doesn't really solve those core issues, I'd say.
No, it certainly does not. And it goes back down to what we were saying before. These small little mistakes are then snowballing into the huge ones, which are then costing rounds, Booble, and they have to correct them in this next round, or else things can get very messy very quickly, and the rounds can start slipping away, and when rounds start slipping away, the game is done and ended with.
Yep, absolutely, and luckily, for Misclick anyway, they get that opening pick. Unlucky for Yunk there, just taking that immediately, and it shows immediately this response of having a roamer upstairs means nothing. They've just lost a body for basically free, not a lick of damage given to Misclick there. And Tracker Clan, they're really going to need to sort of play a lot better here, because it seems like anything they do, any changes they make, they could even change the site. They're running into just these same issues, and Misclick are starting to sort of run away with it.
They most certainly are starting to run away with that. And Tracker Clan have to be able to start drawing back what is left of these rounds. You know, they've already at a one-man deficit. They have to be able to now recognize what has gone wrong, and they need to fix that. They also now need to restore the man advantage. They have a lot of work to do, and they need to be able to achieve all that in the next 1 minute and 45 seconds. Or else things are going to start slipping away from them even more, and both you and I know, Booble, once rounds start slipping away just like this, the game gets so one-sided. We were saying before, Bank can either be the closest map or a one-sided match, and well, at the moment this is completely one-sided to Team Misclick, as they do find one more. That is a crucial kill for them. No smoke off the board. That is a huge chunk of sight denial off the board, and the second chunk of sight denial as well via the Chanka of Alex, who does fall. A trade comes out though from Louis. He finds the 3k, isn't allowed to find the 4th, as the Legion does take him down and denies him from the 4k. It's a 1 versus 3, 1 versus 4 as Konski falls and Solo to take down Budo.
And again, really, it's just those small mistakes. Alex, indecision. He didn't know whether to hold that blue stairs or retreat, but he ends up retreating far, far too late. 2 hatches watching him, just caught in a nightmare crossfire for him there. If he stayed on those blue stairs, there was a very real chance they could have still came back in that round. And he gets 1 pick, 2 picks on that Tachanka. Certainly got the gun for it. That SMG is very powerful, but Alex, he just gets too scared, runs away back to site, cut down, and still no signs of success for Misclick, the Tracker even at all. Misclick running away with it. They've just been so proficient on these roam clears. And one thing I'd like to see from Tracker Clan here, really just make the most of that space. Just get out there into the map, be a nuisance. You don't need to actually sort of take fights, but just let the attack know you're there, know that you're a threat. Try and bait Misclick into spending a lot more time, because that execute came with far too much time left on the clock there for Misclick. They were very comfortable going in very early into the round, so Tracker Clan, they really just need to make the most of Bank as a map. Get out there, just do your due diligence, get a good roam going, because hiding in sight is not going to help you at all. Misclick are far too good with their gun skill to deal with that. if they don't do that, Tracker I just don't really see a way they can get back in this. Misclick have had their number for 4 rounds in a row. They've also shown a great ability to make these comebacks as Noctrius takes a lot of early damage. I'm not too sure where that's from. Maybe team damage, maybe a failed spawn peek. But either way, he does survive, which is the big thing.
That is the most important thing. Cade, though, isn't bringing the TCSG, which is kind of foreign now. You know, you run the Cade, you run the TCSG just purely because of how completely overpowered it is. But no, the Org is in hand. C4 goes on and does an incredible amount of damage to Pizza. That's not what you're wanting on in early doors. But he does escape with his life. It does see the Mozzie, and Mozzie only just gets away. Is injured though, and is aware of the injury. A grenade is going to go out to try and confirm the kill, and does just that. Is it Young?
I think it's Young.
Young finds himself taken down. He's had not the greatest game so far. 0-5 on that Mozzie as well, which isn't exactly what you're wanting. Additionally, the C4 has been dropped. Only 1 left on the board. He did use it, but that doesn't matter because, well, it didn't really go to much use.
Yeah, Noctrius, he's trying to change that position of the Cloud Claw just to elsewhere on the hatch, I guess. I'm not really sure what the problem, what the thing with that is. He's going to try and trick it with the Thatcher, because a Thatcher EMP can still get it. I would understand this if they were dealing with their secondary ones with a smaller radius, but Thatcher EMPs, you just get anywhere near a gadget's disabled, so he must be attempting a trick. It's risky, but Alex is holding those stairs, so there's not like he can get rushed out here, but there's comparatively little attention going towards those servers, though. We've seen that echo in the garage. A lot of attention over White here. Misclick, they really have an opportunity to just barrel into those servers, get a lot of map control, and start a plant going. And, yep, the kind of trick comes out. It's a Hibana being used here, so there's take a lot of time to actually open the hatch. And this is really good play from the Kaid here. He's potentially burned another set of them. Just too late. The second EMP comes out. That's the big problem with Kaid there. Once you use 2 EMPs, you can't trick it at all. Nitro comes out, doesn't hit anything. Almost a great play from Noctrius there, and it has wasted quite a lot of Misclick's time, to be fair, as we get to this final 45 seconds.
Time is the biggest enemy for Misclick, and time is the biggest enemy for anyone in Rainbow Six Siege. Competitive. Some shots to go out, but don't land anything as a grenade comes out by Solo and does take down Noctrius. The Cade with no longer a C4 in pocket as it was used. Echo playing a huge part here. Does deny the plan, yet won't be able to deny it again. Yes, it will actually. I didn't think it would be recharged in time. As Nui does find one, the Echo drone successfully shot. Maybe be able to get the plant down here, and it will just do that. Some more kills come out in quick succession. Wow. It's all happened. It's nice and simple siege. It's what we like to see, and Will claims the round. Puts one more on the board for Team Misclick.
They're just Misclick are just leagues ahead of Tracker Clan in this matchup. That's sort of the dirty truth of it here, really. They have much better gun skill, much better utility usage, much better overall game plan, and Tracker Clan, they just look lost. It's also coming a bit hard to watch here. They're just getting bullied. 5-0 for Team Misclick here. The flawless match is looking very doable, at the very least a flawless half as Tracker Clan. They're going back to this top floor of the site, which really didn't see them much success at all, really. They were just completely annihilated in those first 2 rounds, and ever since then we've been down in the basement trying their best, where they've seen, albeit a bit more success, but still the same setup being brought here, I believe, with no changes. to Yuko still not Echo and still likely going to play very passively as he had with these drones. Alex on that Valkyrie is such a powerful operator, but he just hasn't been able to really use it. There's almost no time for the Tracker Clan members to use that intel, because Misclick, they always come in and they get into an immediate open engagement, cut one of those defenders down and put themselves in a great position. And it just leaves a lot of utility almost being wasted here.
It is one thing Team Misclick are doing exceptionally well, and it is acting off that info, as you said. And it is one thing that Tracker Clan haven't quite got the grasp of yet, and is limiting that information that Tracker Clan are in fact gaining. And it is starting, it's incredibly hindering their performance in this match, as well as 5-0. We could be seeing a 6-0 half here, Pooba, which we basically never see in competitive anymore. It's incredibly rare that we see a 6-0 match ever. But that could completely, 6-0 half, so that can completely change as Konski though does swing, take down Young. Buddha though to respond and take down pieces of shots are taking onto the top square window by Alex and haven't been landed just yet. Will does pick up the ace once more, though. Is going to be trying to open up the walls. Some shots are more taken. No cross. Does take down Konski. And it's now a 3 versus 4. 3 versus 3 as Solo does even out the man advantage once again. We are going to see a jump out. An incredible whiff. And Will does take him down via the Claymore. And it's horrible whiff. It should have been a kill, but it doesn't. So shots taken onto Konski, on Nui, sorry. Nui does take it down. Well, Poodle, this is a 6-0 half. Claimed by Will once again, the man that we've seen so much of this match.
Yeah, in fairness to Nocrius, it looked from his movement before that he was maybe having some ping issues, lagging a bit. Yeah. So maybe he was hitting him on his screen, but to like the viewers here, to the observer, bad whiff. And I'm not sure if when you're lagging, jumping out is the best play. A lot of movement there required, server tick rates or complicated stuff means you're probably not going to hit those shots. But still, it just kind of makes it all the more miserable watching this, because whatever Tracker Clan is trying, Misclick just shut them down. 6-0. All I ask Misclick now is put them out of their misery. Win this one defensive round, please. Just let Tracker Clan stop. Let them go home. Let them recover from this, because it's been a massacre as Misclick go to this first floor site. Archives tell us, that's a border site. Open area, that's the one. Open area here being defended by Misclick, and maybe not the most picked site here, not the highest defensive win rate here. I'm not sure if this is a bit of BM from Misclick or if they truly believe in their strategies here. Either way, it's looking very likely they might win this, as Tracker Clan throughout that entire half did just seem completely lost. We're seeing an extension up to this top floor. Nui putting those mats there. I think the only way this could get worse for Tracker Clan is if 2 people get forced. I can't lie. That would maybe be the only way this match gets more sort of sad to watch, really.
Yeah, we were saying at the start, Poogle, that Bank can either be incredibly close or incredibly one-sided. We could see max OT, we could see a 7-0. And well, Poogle, were we right about that? 6-0 on the half. That all Team Misclick do is have to win one defensive round to take the match and put Tracker Clan out of their misery. They are, as you said previously, leagues above Tracker Clan in this match, really showing their worth and really showing why they should go on to progress into the playoffs, and most certainly will not have a run in the elimination brackets. Although Tracker Clan are in the building nice and quickly within a minute. Drone work is immaculate. They are going to be playing office information nice and quickly. Budo, though, does take a chunk of damage. A grenade is going to be going out onto those rafters. It hasn't taken any damage via it, though. And the drone to follow it up, and is now forcing the player on the top of the stairs, the Frost of Nui, to maybe play a bit more passive and move off, as they are aware of his position. Moves over to the Kanto wall, and he is going to try and cause some issues here. Pizza takes down Yink, and some shots are taken. Alex to refrag, and for one more to come out by Budo, but does find himself incredibly weak and will find himself possibly killed in the coming seconds of the round, as he is down, yet to be confirmed. Will taken out, though, and it's incredibly close now, as one more comes out by Solo, and it's all up the Pizza in the 1 versus 4. Team Misclick crumble, and now it's put Pizza into the clutch situation with only 1 minute and 15 left. Still ample amount of time for this to go either way, although it is looking so unlikely, and this could be Tracker Clan's first round on the board, Poogle.
Yeah, I'm not going to count Pizza out of it yet. 1 versus 4, still doable, but as Badu actually gets picked up now, it becomes a lot less doable. Still low health, a potential stray bullet through the wall could take him out, but he's got so many angles to watch Pizza here. He's just, it's a truly impossible task, it seems like. Their own setup really coming back to bite them as they have that rotate in the wall. Pizza potentially going to get flashed out here. Does get one. I think these gunfights would be crucial here. Spots another, but doesn't quite land the shot. But he's moving closer and closer. Doesn't quite realize how close he is to this thermite as Nocrius gets one. And as he said, Tracker Clan, they put one on the board. It will not be a clean sweep here today on Bank.
It most definitely will not be a clean sweep, but Tracker Clan do have a lot of work to do. They have got 1 round, but 1 round the other way and the game ends completely. They do have a lot of work to do, and they have to break down this defense of Team Misclick. Off the CCTV, and lockers for, again, what could be the final sight, the final round of this entire match brutal. It has gone so incredibly quickly.
Yeah, interesting thing here to see. Those observation blockers we talked about on that previous map finally being used this tonight. We've not really seen any other matches here, as they're still kind of finding their footing in the overall sort of team setups. They can have a lot of usage, especially just blocking off long angles, as it just forces drones to get a little bit closer, get a little bit more vulnerable to get that intel, and that can waste time and particularly waste resources. Getting those drones killed needlessly can be a big problem for attacking teams, so using them on that server position, forcing the drones to get right up close to the player actually there, could be a very good thing for the defense here. It could allow Misclick to really snap this round up, end it 7-1. Thing to note here, though, they are lacking something like that Irumi, like that Kite, for that long-range weapon, which we are seeing teams increasingly pick here just to hold very long, almost pixel angles to the default plant position. Misclick, they're not opting for that, instead being more aggressive. Nui on this Warden in open area. Solo as well, playing right by this tunnel entrance. They want to get an early pick. They are nearly desperate for it seems. And Tracker Clan, so far, are being much more disciplined. They're not giving it them yet. As I say that, Alex swings out, tries to get one off the drone intel, but fails and moves back into the tunnel.
Grenade pin pulled and may potentially go out, and this could be the end of Solar as we know it if this grenade lands correctly. Sledge, though, is going to opt out of not throwing the grenade, and they are going to be trying to get rid of this barbed wire as soon as possible. Solar, though, does have the ADS by him to burn any grenades that could possibly follow, and well, just like that, one has followed. Smoke looking very aggressive here. SMG-11 in hand, takes some shots, whiffs them completely. Alex takes down Konski to get the first pick, to get the opening pick of this round, as the Goyo canister is also shot, denying any entry into dirt, as the two other players, except from Alex, do rotate to help the rest of his team that set up this execute, set up what they can do against this team Misclick defense, as it's all at a stalemate now. Osa is going to be trying to push up dirt with her shield, but is going to be met with a chunk of damage via the Jaeger, courtesy of Solo, and is forced her to push right back as she is a bullet away from death. Some more shots rain from the Vector. When the Vector sings, the Vector kills, but isn't going to be found this time. Poobah, we are at a stalemate.
Yeah, and only 2 drones left. These observation blockers have clearly done their job, and it seems Alex here might be opting for a backstab, or might just simply be a bluff. Going in with that Osa shield, trying to draw as much attention as possible, but elsewhere, Pizza has read into it. Got one, Nui as well gets the response on the Bordeaux. Notchris did get a trade, as Alex is now rotating all the way around, so servers seems like it might be safe ground for the defense after all, as Tracker, they still seem unaware of where they want this push to actually go down. Notchris potentially going for a vault breach here. Very little time. Yunk might just offer himself up as a distraction on that hatch. Will on this Echo drone is going to be crucial, though. As this time ticks down, those drones become oh so more potent. They might not even get a plant after all if this drone work is good, because once again, and the Tracker Clan even, they're taking so much time to get this cleared down. I'm not even sure if the hatch has been breached at Vault. Where are they going? A red drop, it looks like. This is a lot of players just holding from above. Notchris, he's in a do-or-die position here.
Only 15 seconds left and 2 kills in quick succession. 1 versus 3 with only 6 seconds left on the clock. This is in the side of Team Misclick. It's in the side of the defense, and they have in fact done it. Will to confirm, Team Misclick to progress. We go to the finals. Tracker Clan don't. They drop down to the elimination bracket, and we will be seeing Team Misclick progress.
Yeah, and I said Bank can be a team that if one team is comfortable with large maps, is comfortable with it, we can just see an absolute blowout. And yeah, 7-1, almost as one-sided as it could get. We didn't quite get a clean sweep, so there's something for Tracker Clan there, I guess, but total domination. Misclick in that grudge match come out leagues ahead of their opponent, and they make it to the finals. Things aren't all over for Tracker Clan, though. They do have a final match in the Swiss stage that is an elimination match, so it is also a best of 3. So it might allow them to flex their map pool a bit. But if this match is anything to go off, they need a lot of work for that best of 3 they've got up on their way. Simple as they need to put a lot of work in to improve.
A lot of work is needed, and those problems that have arisen in this bank game need to be fixed before that BO3 match, before their first BO3, or else things are going to go horribly wrong for Tracker Clan. Horribly wrong.
Yeah, they need improvements. But on the other side, Misclick, although their opponent maybe looked a little bit shaky, we can't take this victory away from them. They looked dominant throughout this map. Their usage of utility was great. Their pushes were coordinated. They always seemed to know exactly what they wanted. Very good coordination throughout them. Definitely, they have a bright future ahead of them in this finals bracket that they've got coming up in a few weeks. So overall, really good match from them.
Incredible match, and it's just 7-1, absolute domination. But Booble, that was our final match of the evening, and what a match to end it on. And just like that, I believe we move on to the finals. I think this is the last stream of Phase 2. I think this is our last stage of Phase 2.
I think
Or am I wrong?
I think this week might be the thing is there's as elimination matches best of 3, there's quite a few days with like one best of 3, so that kind of drags out a little bit at the end. But I think within a week, maybe 2 weeks, we'll be on to the finals there, as we are starting to really get. I think that was the last of the best of 1s, though. I think from now on it is best of 3, so potentially a bit higher match quality. A lot of people prefer to see best of 3, as it shows.
I do.
It rewards map flexibility, it rewards deep map pools, it rewards having a good sort of good strats, a lot of good strats throughout, and it really sort of separates those good teams from the bad ones. So there's a lot of good matches waiting for us throughout this week, and I believe we're on daily for Monday to Thursday. So there'll be another stream tomorrow. So I will see you then. I'm not sure who's casting it, but I'm sure they do a fantastic job. Fantastic matches ahead of us as well. Bye bye.